There we go. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning to the BAMF podcast. I'm your host, Mike Lafferty. We are here today doing an actual play of the Super System, and Alice has been gracious enough to jam for us. Hey, Alice.
Hi, everyone.
Hey. Do you want to set up the situation, or should we introduce?
I'm going to. Yep,
Okay.
happy to.
Just feel free.
Okay, so we're going to be running a one-shot with characters that everybody provided at 25 points. The concept behind this is that you guys are all going to have been from, let's say, Aldo Raganato's Superverse, or another existing world that is absolutely, relatable in the modern day. Upon starting, you guys are going to be introduced to a different situation. When we are ready, we will start.
Okay.
Also, so go ahead, sorry.
No, please continue.
Since you guys don't have that much familiarity with each other's characters, I'm not going to say that you guys are necessarily part of a super team to start with. You guys are going to have familiarity with each other's reputations through each other's work. You guys may have had some interaction, but you guys don't need to be a tight-knit, on the ball super team already. Okay?
Okay, good news. I am playing a character. We were calling him Kane, right, Walt?
Something like that, or Bruce, or something.
Bruce, I thought. You sent me Bruce.
Bruce works. He is a combat android who is used for MMA training, who attained sentience, and is socially awkward, trying to understand human society through pop culture. So that's my guy. Brandon, who are you playing?
I just want to make certain I'm clear on this. You're playing Bruce Kane. Not to be confused with a billionaire that runs around in dark underwear at night.
I thought about that. We were calling him Kane for a while because of the Kung Fu series, and then we were making a joke about Call Me Bruce. But let's just stick with Bruce. Keep it simple.
I'm going to be playing a person who has lost the ability to age, basically. It's an idea that I had based on a picture that I'll get up here in a minute. Based for Wendy Moira Angela Darling from Peter Pan, and that after her time in Neverland, she grew to a certain age of adulthood, but then just has kept on living, and after being exposed to the weirdness of Neverland and such, has become kind of awakened an occult investigator, and not so much the capes and tights superhero, but somebody who does do, work in that kind of field as the investigator.
Cool. And what's the name?
Wendy Moira Angela Darling.
Oh.
That's awesome.
What should we call you? Wendy Moira Angela Darling?
Depends on how I introduce myself. I've got so many names that I can introduce myself, and, but right. Probably just like Wendy. But yeah, no super name, kind of like Constantine idea on that.
All right, cool. And Walt, who are you playing?
I am playing the Smoke Chaser. So an occult investigator who sometimes dabbles in the whole superhero set.
All right, cool.
Walt and I were drinking from the same Kool-Aid, I guess.
It's a magic kind of day.
It happens. Okay. So, you guys find yourselves going about your daily business in whatever universe you guys decided to all originate from simultaneously beforehand, and everything just kind of goes blue, then green, and then it feels like a bag was put over your head, and you guys all go unconscious. When you guys wake, you guys find yourselves in looks like a bank vault. It looks like the safety deposit boxes vault of a bank. It's dark. There's no windows here. What would you guys like to do to start with?
This is different. So we see each other standing there?
You guys are waking up, so you guys are all lying on the floor, and you do see each other, and as I said, you may not be part of the same super team, but you do have familiarity with each other.
Huh. So we just never met face to face before.
Or maybe you have, if you have someone you would like to.
But yeah. Interesting. So get up is all of our gear and associated nonsense here.
Yes, everything is here. Nothing was misplaced on you.
All right. Look over to the robot and the little girl and say, all right, is this weird for just me? Or was Saturday last night? Because Saturday is usually my big drinking night.
By all means, I do think that this is the same effect on all of us. I have not been known to partake, but I am uncertain how we have all arrived at this place. I'm going to go ahead and start just looking around, checking things out. I've got a violin case with me, and I'm going to just check in that for some things that I store in there, basically, and make certain checking my gear and all.
Are we locked in the vault? In the safety deposit vault?
No, actually, you are not locked. The gate is open. Upon looking around and orienting yourself, it's a pretty easy perception check to notice several of the vault boxes are open and empty, and the gate that usually locks you in seems to be halfway off its hinges.
It seems we've stumbled onto a bank robbery, and by the way, you can call me Bruce, and yes, this is very strange.
I will look at, even though it doesn't say so on my character sheet, I am going to look at the magical devices that sometimes come with characters that can tell time. I'm going to look at my watch and see if we are present during normal business hours.
So so you're saying you have a device that can counteract that? Sure. You do have occultism. Calibrating for a second and all, you're getting the device seems to be whirling around and around and around trying to figure it out, as if you need some sort of thing to calibrate, maybe the sun or something. But after a little bit, it seems to pick up, and you seem to be 5 a.m., 6 a.m. That's what it seems to be thinking you're in. It's still inaccurate, but it thinks you're in the early morning before the bank would open, and you guys remember leaving. The last thing you guys remember was late afternoon, mid to late afternoon. Hi, Nick. Welcome.
Hello. Sorry.
No problem. We waited for you for a bit, chit-chatting, but we didn't know if you would show in the end, so we started. You're not missing much. Why don't we start with introducing your character real quick?
All right. I am doing the Phantom Hawk. He's an original character created by me. Walt helped set up the stats for him. Actually, he set up the stats for me. He didn't help. He just did the whole thing.
Well, it's cool.
I'll be playing.
And Walt, that was a big help.
I do what I can.
So now I'm going to drink a beer and play this game with you.
Yes.
Okay. So Nick, just as a quick setup and understanding, your character would normally be from, say, Aldo's Superverse or a different setting, but you guys are all from the same original setting, and you're going about your business in the late afternoon. You don't need to be an actual member of any existing super team with the rest of the members, but you will have some level of understanding through reputation, maybe having crossed paths with them, met them on a case once or twice, stuff like that. You don't need intimate familiarity with, hey, we need to be on the ball on this. And so you're in mid-afternoon when going about your business, and all of a sudden you start seeing blue and green flashing lights, and then all of a sudden you feel like a bag's been pulled over your head, and it just feels really uncomfortable, and then everything goes black, and then you find yourself waking up in a dim room, and looking around you find yourself in what appears to be the safety deposit vault, a safety deposit box vault of a bank.
Okay.
And people start getting up, and they were just starting to talk, but looking around you notice that several of the safety deposit boxes are empty, and the gate that would keep the vault locked up is off its hinges, partially off its hinges. Any further investigation would take a little more interaction on you guys' part.
Okay.
So, what would people like to do at this point? Oh, Brandon, did you actually want to go? You were the first person to say you wanted to really interact with what is around. So why don't you make me a perception roll, please?
I'd like to use investigation. Is that what you mean by perception?
Yes, go ahead and investigate for me.
All right. I have searching for clues as a specialty. That comes out with a 6, 5, 1, and a 1, so I'll keep 12 on that since I only get to keep 3.
Okay. Brandon, first thing you notice is this vault door seems to be from a really low security age, like maybe 1920s, 1930s. But at the same time, there seems to have been upgrades that are past 2019. Some tech on it that you've never interacted with before. And so it's a really strange paradox on this door to you.
This place has been here for a long time. It's older than I am, I say, looking around. The person that you see is, a young 20s woman, by the way, Nick, and, making a comment like that kind of seems a bit off on, older than I am. How do you get pictures from your desktop up onto this, by the way, Alice?
Screen share.
Oh, you can't, link them?
You can link. Well, no, you can't link it. Hit screen share on the left-hand bar. It's a little green icon with an arrow, and then you'll be able to pop it to the audience.
I didn't know you could do that.
See?
So that's the art inspiration for the character.
Oh, cool. That's a nice car.
That's really slick. Let's see. All right, so we're basically stuck in this vault, but it's got high-tech elements secured into Art Deco design, kind of like 1930s, 1920s.
Yes, and you're not secured in. The door's open. The vault door is open.
And
we are not trapped.
And
You're
we
not
think
trapped.
it's somewhere around 5 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. I introduce myself to Phantom Hawk and say, hey, I've been a member of your fan club for a while. Can you sign my baseball card when you get a chance?
Absolutely. As soon as I get my hands free.
And you can call me Bruce. I'm kind of a kung fu robot. You might have heard of me,
Bruce the Kung Fu Robot.
Oh, yes, by all means. Introductions. All of your reputations do precede you. You can simply call me Wendy. I'm, I think, a bit out of some of your league, I say, looking at the Kung Fu Robot, as well as, I forget Nick's character's name, but, Phantom Hawk.
All right. So,
and I'll give a nod to Smoke Chaser, since we're both occult investigators. We probably have crossed paths a few times.
While everybody's kind of getting their first impressions, I'm going to back up to the wall, and I'm going to give everybody the 1 minute kind of like, hey, hold on 1 second. I said I'll look to everyone and say, I'm going to take a quick look around. If I faint or fall over, just make sure I don't drool. Yes, Phantom Hawk. And then I'm going to go astral and look to see what's outside the building.
Sure. You go outside the building and you see on the streets a very strange sight. You feel like you just walked into an old black and white movie a little bit. You see a newspaper boy screaming out. Are you able to hear in your astral form?
Yes.
Okay. You hear a young boy with a newspaper hat on. Extra, extra, read all about it. Heroes are all gone. Extra, extra, read all about it. World's ending. Heroes have all fallen. Extra, extra, read all about it. And looking around, like I said, you feel like you've walked into a black and white movie. Cars are going down the street that they're maybe topping at 50 miles an hour. Hold on, sorry. They're 1920s cars. You see women in flapper dress. Well, actually, right now it's 5 a.m. in the morning, so the streets are relatively quiet. The buildings are all brick and Art Deco, seeming out of the 1920s, 1930s era.
On this quiet street, is there still a young child waking everyone up?
Yes, there is still a young child yelling. With a and there, this is something strange. As you're looking at the newspaper that he's flagging around, it doesn't actually look like paper newspaper though. It looks too high tech to even be a tablet you're familiar with from 2019. It's like the filament ones that you see out of sci-fi movies.
Oh, like flexi screen type stuff.
Flexi screen, yes.
Ooh, wow, interesting. All right, I am going to drop back into my meat sack part and then let everybody know what I've seen so far.
Quite interesting. I've been displaced to other dimensions, but time displaced is a little new to me.
I'm not sure we're so time displaced. I will say that this is weird, and seeing as my last viewing was Into the Spider-Verse, this could be a similar instance. Have you guys partaken? Do you know? Never mind. I'm going to start moving my way out of the room and start investigating if there's anything weird outside of the actual bank vault. If you guys want to start investigating the bank vault here.
I don't have any useful investigative skills or abilities, even though I'm a robot. So I will just go with you, and I'll punch anybody if it's needed, because that's pretty much what I do.
That's fantastic.
You got one thing you're good at. You do that thing.
I see you guys like being able to screen share your character portraits now.
Awesome. You told us how to do that. I had no idea that was a thing.
Oh, okay. So, well, Brandon and Nick, you two are still in the vault. Why don't we cut to the two of you first?
All right. Brandon, you want to go first?
Sure. If they're moving out, I'm just gonna start, looking around for, I mean, first of all, why is this vault door open at this time? Let alone why are we in it? But trying to find anything that does seem out of place, with looking around and such. I go into my my violin case and pull out different types of equipment, flashlight and such. Like that.
It seems that somebody was able to bypass part of the high-tech element of this vault door, but they couldn't get it unlocked, so they went the old school way, and since it's a 1920s vault door, they took the top half off its hinge and then just kind of pushed it open. It does look like they didn't need to have a full body come through though, because there was at the time, because you guys actually had to move it open a little bit more.
So it wasn't explosives blowing the...
No, it wasn't explosives. It was taken off its hinges. Okay. But it looked like whatever came through was a relatively small body comparatively. Someone that your size, Brandon, could have gone through. Wendy's size could have gone through. It was not for a big hulking man. Nick, what about you? What would you like to look at?
I'm free, right? I like the bag's off my head. And,
yeah, the bag's off your head. You just came, came to, and you found yourself lying in the vault, and there was some there's some safety deposit boxes that seem to have been opened and emptied, and then there's the vault door that's ajar.
Ajar, and it's just that one opening that was small enough for someone like Wendy to get through?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm waking up discombobulated, confused, and suffering from an electromagnetic headache, just because of the nanites in his body, and that's just something that he likes to wake up with. So he starts taking a look around the vault. He notices the very tiny human-sized hole in the vault and trying to figure out how he's going to get out of there. So he starts making his way towards the opening of the vault and squeezes through.
Okay. Well, so Walt, I'm going to cut to you and the robot. You two, it takes a little bit of strength, but whatever mechanism was holding it closed, because of the way that it was handled, you guys are able to shove it open a bit more so that the three of you can actually all leave.
I will let KFR use his robotic strength to handle all that. KFR being Kung Fu Robot.
I like it.
Kung Fu Robot, that you find that is definitely suited for Kung Fu Robot's job because it's a big vault door. Okay.
And while I'm pushing that open, I am perusing my internal database of time travel movies, trying to get a closer hone in on what our situation is. And was anyone in a hot tub recently?
That would be me, but there's yeah.
All right, we can eliminate that possibility. And I'm a robot who has time traveled, but I don't desire to kill all of humanity, so we can eliminate that possibility. I will continue searching.
Okay. Quick question for Nick and quick question for Mike. You two, do either of you have an uplink to a normal system, a satellite or some sort of cloud or machine that your nanites or your robotic systems need hook up to from time to time?
I do not.
Okay. What about you, Nick?
Phantom Hawk does have an interlink to his scratch-built computer that he gathered from a government facility that was destroyed, the one that created him, called Templar.
Okay.
The name of the computer system. So.
And the computer system is not part of your normal gear, correct? You don't carry it. It's part of your lair.
It's part of the lair, yeah.
Okay. You've lost connection to it.
Oh, great! I'm gonna have to rely on my wits and wiles.
Gain a competency die for that, by the way, because you will not have access to that device.
That's fine. I don't really need it. I'm a special forces guy, and I'm used to gear failing me, so especially technology.
This is why we still carry compasses.
Yep.
All right, so we're through the door. Phantom
Yep.
Hawk is coming through the door.
Mhm.
Is there any bank security we should be interacting with?
Ooh, what would
Good
that look
question.
like? 1920s. Let's find it.
Okay. You guys start looking around, and you guys find yourself in the main floor. Then you guys wander over into the office. And in the office, you guys see, again, this dichotomy, this paradox. There's 1920 security options where, it's pretty low tech, and the analog keyboard and such like that. But then as you interact with the analog dink, 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 really loud clanking of the keyboard, you notice that it creates a holographic pop-up of your digital screen.
Damn.
And
cool.
and you see information about the bank security. And it looks like you appear to be, you would guess, the same year that you guys left, same date even. Well, the day after actually would be the day that you guys are. But there seems to definitely be a different progression in this world versus what you're accustomed to.
I am going to quote Nick on the show the other day. Damn it, Barry.
Damn it, Barry.
All right, so do we have some sort of semblance of when we all came in here? Is there any sort of video surveillance of how we popped in?
So looking into it, you do find video surveillance that you guys all, a blue portal disc appeared inside the vault room, and you guys all just floated in and then were placed, and then the disc sunk into the ground and disappeared. And that was about 2 hours ago. And looking at the time dates, you do realize, yeah, your calibration of your thing is a little off, but pretty accurate. It's about 5:20 in the morning. So, you're pretty close on your thing. You can calibrate it using this information.
I'll reset my watch.
Sure. And you can go further back. Oh, and when you guys did appear, if it matters to you, the vault door was already broken, and the the safety boxes had already been broken into as well. As you go scrolling further back, though, you're able to go back about an hour, and then another hour, and you notice everything's the same, empty, but the vault's been broken into. And 2 hours earlier, there is a glitch on the system where it's just static for about a minute and a half. And then before that, everything in there was untouched.
So somebody did some mumbo jumbo on the feeds.
And they eliminated all superheroes at the same time. I mean, these have to be linked. They might not be linked, but it would be a heck of a coincidence.
The
video didn't show any phone booths or police call boxes.
No, it did not.
Okay, just checking.
And Nick, since you wanted to look around the bank with them, you can certainly be here when they're watching this as well.
Oh, most definitely. I'm just kind of curious how I'm how I'm there, what I'm doing there, and why everything looks very old and yet kind of updated at the same time.
Are there any groundhogs nearby?
No, you do not find any groundhogs nearby.
Tell me you asked that question out loud so I can respond with "Don't drive angry."
I'd like to nominate Mike for a competency die on this.
I do what I can.
So while I give you guys a moment to think about that, and you can discuss among yourselves, Brandon, what are you doing in the vault? You checked the door at this point. The door, like I said, it seems to was disabled, but they weren't able to get it open, so they took it off the hinge to get themselves inside.
Okay, well, having searched that area for anything and found the door's strange and it's open on my investigation, I guess I will go ahead and leave. I am in checking the room.
So I apologize. That's why I wanted to double check with you. So looking at the boxes, the vault boxes, they seem to have been picked. They're not double keyed because back in this certain banks back in this day and age hadn't done the double key system, so they had been picked open. There are 3 boxes that are empty. One of them still has some paper in it, but looking at the paper, and I do mean like actual paper, since that's different than what you guys have been interacting with so far. Looking at the paper, though, there's nothing written on it, and it seems burned on the edges. The other 2 boxes seem completely empty. The paper looks like it might have wrapped something at one point, maybe even. It looks like, the brown butcher paper kind of paper.
Oh, like a parcel paper?
Mm-hmm. Parcel paper, thank you.
I'm just going to check it for either impressions or residue of what might have been there. So
I never got a character sheet from you, Brandon. Do you have?
I have mailed it out.
I apologize. Let me go look my email. Do you have anything? I'll go look at it.
If you have some mumbo jumbo, maybe you could Harry Potter that into.
I have no mumbo jumbo. I am a skill-based character.
I don't judge.
Okay, go ahead and roll your investigation on that.
Oh gosh, that's horrible. That's an 8.
Okay. So dealing with the residue and all, you can't really figure out what it is, but you suddenly don't feel so well. You're feeling a little vertigo and interacting with it, and you're feeling a little nauseous, like just being pulled in different directions is what you feel, but you can't really decipher any sort of residue or anything on it.
I'm going to call.
We got a mute going on.
I'm going to call out through the vault. I'm hearing myself through Alice's mic, so I assume I'm activated since she doesn't mute herself.
I'm just muting at the wrong times in comparison to him at times.
I'm going to call out to, Smoke Chaser, just from where I am. So you guys hear, a loud call, but not an urgent one.
All right, I'll look to my other duo and kind of give them a nod Hey, you guys keep looking around here. I'm going to see what she wants.
Has anyone seen any midgets with English accents?
No,
Okay.
I will check for that next.
I understood that reference.
I'm going to slide into the vault, noticing that Wendy is having a hard time. Can I deduce that the paper might be a cause? Is she giving the like, oh crap?
Yeah, I'm kind of like leaned up against the opened up safety deposit boxes, and obviously not feeling that well. I'm holding this piece of paper out. There's something on this. It's one of the items that they took. Whatever was in it, it's not contact based, or if it is, it's gotten through my gloves. So I'd assume that it's airborne from exposure to it. I couldn't find sign of what was on it. I didn't know if you might be able to investigate it with your superior senses.
I am going to fake a good game. First things first. Let's get her out. Is there a way? I'm going to.
I can finish the job of taking that thing off the hinges.
That would work. Make it easier for us to get in and out of here, so we can keep investigating.
Yeah. So, I will. Do I have to roll for this?
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to?
Well, I'm going to pull out like a little compact utility belt sized blowtorch, so I can melt through the rest of the hinges, and hopefully the vault door will just fall down.
Yeah. So if is that something you normally have in your kit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
if it's a standard item, you should be good to go.
Yeah, you still have it.
okay.
You can roll 3d6.
3d6. All right. Boop, 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 boop.
I assume there's no hydraulic system to lower it quietly, so this will be a big boom, right?
It's going to make some noise, yeah.
Okay.
We like noise.
It's going to make some noise. And with everybody here, and since I just met them and I don't want to kill them, I'm not going to use some of the other explosives that I have. So, all right. So I rolled it, and it's a 5. Crap.
Probably just got to take them a while to get through it, right?
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, it's handheld, so something that fits on a belt.
So yeah, it's going to take you a little bit, and as you start interacting with it and doing it, you're about halfway through, you think, or most of the way through. You're not certain. It's a foreign system, it's old, and so you're like, this should be pretty easy, and you're going at it, and you're like, why is this so hard to get through? It's really old.
And my intellect and notice, my powers of observation is like, well, there's things that appear old, but there's technology that seems very advanced. So this could be a hybrid metal. That's why it's not cutting through as fast.
And yeah, apparently that's what's going on to you or something. But you're most of the way through when you guys all hear a set of alarms going off. The bank alarm seems to have been triggered at this point.
This might be a good time for us to.
Wah, 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 wah.
Boys, I think that's our cue to pop smoke.
All right.
I gotta step away for 1 sec.
No problem. All right. So first things first, I'm going to quickly spin up some of my my wizardry power.
Okay.
I'm going to. Does Wendy appear sick, or I mean, we're seeing vertigo, we're seeing some sense of nausea. Does it look like? Is there any like sort of rash or anything like that that's coming about? Because
no rash.
All right, so I am going to
make me a perception or investigation check on Wendy.
I have awareness.
I'm going to go ahead and use my wizardry power to get medicine. My wizardry only does skills because I've been around so long. I pretty much have exposure to most things and try and identify. So I have extra effect to activate the wizardry, and I'm going for 3 die of medicine, which I make the DC. And my 3 die of medicine is a 15.
The closest thing you can figure out medicinally, but it doesn't line up on set-in rate, is some sort of radioactive isotope that you might have been interacting with. However, you do know that you have you do know that you don't react to magic the same way others do. So it might be more likely to be that, since radioactive isotopes should not set in this fast. As for you, well, if you can,
I got a 5 on my awareness check.
on your awareness check. Okay. Looking at Wendy, there's something, I mean, you just met her, so looking at her, just studying her face and all, it seems for a moment she flashes to like having crow's feet and like these bags under her eyes, and then it just disappears again. It's kind of weird. It's almost like all of a sudden she was superimposed with a really, really elderly lady, but then it went back to her current face as she's standing
strange.
there. But doesn't seem like she has any sort of rash or anything.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and just start describing things that I think would be pertinent as he's trying to analyze me on condition, and share my thoughts on the fact that possible radioactive, though the onset was nearly immediate, and but it's likely of magical origin based on the way that I'm feeling.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go and activate my wizardry for some super senses to try and figure out. I need to roll a 12, and I'm looking at 20.
You got a 12. Yeah, you rolled really well.
Right.
Yeah, it seems she was affected by some sort of quantum residue.
Ooh. So
Nick, at
Yes,
this
ma'am.
moment, as they're doing that, at this very moment, ka-thunk! The alarms are still blaring, but you got the door down, and so everyone in the bank now hears this huge thunk as the vault door hits the floor.
Hey guys, not that it matters, but I got the door down.
we should probably pull out and find somewhere else to talk.
Well, someone scoop up the girl, and I can grab her, and let's get out of this place before more people show up that don't want us here.
Right on.
It's the law.
Okay.
I'm wearing a mask and a cape, and I just knocked down a bank vault door. So there's going to be some questions, and I don't feel like answering them. And I sure as hell don't like fighting right now.
Brandon, so are you guys leaving the front or the back?
Seems wiser, right?
What'd you say? The front door?
When I did my little astral reconnaissance, there were plenty of buildings around here, right?
Yeah, plenty of buildings. You guys
All right,
are in downtown of a city.
All right, let's get a couple of buildings down so we have a good line of sight on the bank. But let's go to a roof. And
before you do that, I need to know if you guys are leaving at front or back.
Middle.
Middle.
So what I can do is I can create a dimensional portal and put us all on a roof, a couple like a block down.
Okay.
All right. So rolling, I need a 12. I got a 16, and then I'm using a 4D teleport. So I'll use teleport at 3D. I'll add a die for area effect, so if we all stand close enough, it just scoops us all up, and I'll put us on the roof like 2 buildings down. That way we can continue to talk and observe.
Sure. Observing down, you guys will notice something that you looking down specifically, you all everything was weird before when you came out and astral projected, and everything's still that way. But you notice that there's one car parked in front of the bank that looks a bit different than all the other cars around here that are parked in the street.
What's different about it?
How is the car?
1 second, I'm trying to find something out from Brandon. I couldn't hear him. So, those of you who know Wendy by reputation, you guys know that she travels in a car, and that seems to be her car out front. So,
That's curious.
in her portrait, there's this nice sleek blue car. It's, it looks almost stylistically similar to some of the cars around here, but it definitely has a more of a punch and pizzazz to it, a more expensive, higher end look. And while you guys are observing, you guys notice police cars roll up, 1920s cops, no body armor, dressed in, a very retro 1920s uniforms. They are lining up and setting up a perimeter, dealing with procedure. They have revolvers pulled out, and they're calling out with a very high-tech megaphone, telling the bank robbers to give themselves up.
I'll stick my hands in the air. Not that they can see that.
Nope, not that they can see that. So that's what you'll be observing over the next few minutes while you guys want to talk. I'll give you a moment to talk.
All right, we're on a adjacent building, right? A couple blocks over still.
Correct.
Yeah, two buildings over, he said.
Yep.
All right. Well, we heard that news kid say that the superheroes are gone. I'm dressed like a superhero. I got the cape and cowl thing going on. Maybe I go down there and talk to him and try and get some human intelligence out of this place.
That might be a good idea.
Of course, they start shooting. You teleport me out of there.
I think I can work that out.
All right. Well,
all right. So let him go down there, and because you got the cool glider cape, so you can get down on your own, or you want me to put you down there?
I think it would probably freak him out less if I just kind of glided down. So we're gonna try and I'm gonna go talk to the G chief down there and do my SF thing. And
I always carry fortune cookies with me. Would you like to bring them? I understand that baked goods can appease police officers.
You know what? I got a pouch that I can put them in.
All right, there you go.
You never know; they might come in useful later. So I'm gonna take them cookies. I'm gonna have one first.
Okay. Munch.
Which is awesome
because I'm kind of hungry, and I love fortune cookies. So the rest I'm gonna put in my utility belt, and I'm gonna glide on down there.
That is so awesome.
Okay. So you're gonna go talk to the newsboy or the police lead there?
First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk to the police.
Okay.
And then go talk to the newsboy because that's usually the man on the street. He sees stuff and he's often overlooked unless someone's buying a paper. So.
Okay.
All right. So I glide down and I make my appearance in front of the police behind them and gently make them aware of my presence.
Okay.
No dramatic superhero entrance or anything. So.
Sure.
Going to. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please go ahead. If you had something you want to say first. The obvious reaction to you, though, is shock before you ever say anything. If you want to say something before I react further, welcome to.
Use the cookies.
Hey guys, I'm here to help, and I brought cookies. And then I reach in and I pull out my fortune cookies.
Okay. A couple of the cops start looking at each other and start calling you by saying that Blackhawk, isn't he dead? Dead, right? I mean, this guy must be an imposter. The police chief turns around and yells at everyone, "Everybody, back to your stations! Man your perimeter! We need to find what's going on." And he turns to you and he's trying to get everyone back into their positions, and steps over to you and goes, "And who are you?"
Okay, so I'm gonna look around and get a little bit closer to the chief and kind of, close the distance between us so we can talk kind of privately. And I'm just gonna.
When you start closing the distance, he's very suspicious. He pulls his revolver up, and his revolver definitely does not look like any modern gun.
Okay, so it's outside of the technology of what the time period would look like.
does not look like a modern gun. No, it looks like a early 1900s revolver.
Oh, okay. I know that's really not going to affect me too much if the nanites in my body hold up and are going to do their job. But just to be safe, I put my hands outside of my cloak, in a non-threatening way to let them know, like, hey, man, I'm on your side. I just want to know what the hell's going on around here.
Sure.
If it'll be easier, I can give you a cookie.
Cookie in hand.
As I slowly reach into my pouch and pull out one fortune cookie and start handing it to him. I'm like, it's okay. I'm here to help.
Roll me a presence with them. Just to see how well you're doing that.
Let me see here. Presence. What am I rolling?
You have competency die. I even gave you a bonus one for not having your uplink.
All right, cool. Competency dice base 2.
So, which means you have 3 now, but you also have presence of 2D. Okay. So if you roll 2d6.
All right, I'm gonna roll 2d6 right now, and it is a 7.
For those of you observing up above, by the way, on Walt and such, you do notice that they are using Wendy's car as one of the barricades. So if shooting starts of any sort, the car will be caught in the crossfire.
No, not the Jolly Roger.
It's like, I got a guy back in Crestview. Fix it right up. Don't worry.
So what was your presence?
I rolled a 7.
Okay.
So I don't know what I needed.
He looks at you and he looks like he might, he might know you, might be familiar with you, and he says, "I thought you were dead."
No, sir. I'm very much alive, and just between you, me, and the barricade of cars here, I'm not from around here. I might look like someone you know, but I guarantee you I don't know you, sir.
And so then why am I supposed to trust you?
Well, look at the outfit, man. And besides, if I wanted your gun and I wanted to hurt you all, y'all be hurt. But you're going to have to take my word for it. So what's going on here? What set this off? When did you guys get alerted that something was not right here?
The bank alarm went off a few minutes ago. We responded immediately.
All right. About how long ago you'd think? More or less.
About 5 minutes ago. That's pretty accurate to when the alarm went off inside.
All right. So my internal monologue was like, okay, that makes sense. So our presence set it off, or whatever brought us here set it off. All right. Can you tell me more about where the heroes are? We heard a news kid screaming out that all the heroes are gone. You have any information on that? Like I said, I'm not from around here.
He looks at you really confused. And he says, "Yeah, all the capes, they're all dead or missing. Been that way for 2 years. Well, last one disappeared last month, but I think he just got tired."
Wow. What about the villains? Any of them still kicking around?
Plenty. Those on the rooftop at this point, you guys make me perception checks. Make me awareness checks real quick.
Leading up to this, Alice, I've wanted to be observing the officers to find out if they are actual individuals or perhaps simulacrum of some sort. If I can find any artifacts of programming or something like that would make me believe that these aren't actual people, but instead some sort of creation, whether technological, magical, or otherwise. So
this could be like a simulation?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll that.
So I'm going to need to adjust my wizardry. So actually, I've got occultism, I've got investigation, so I think I'd adjust my wizardry to perception and awareness at that point. And so I make it for my 3 dice of awareness. Now, which one would you like me to be rolling? Occultism, investigation, or perception? Awareness, sorry.
I would say this would be an awareness check because you're not investigating up close.
Okay, that's going to be a 13.
There are some odd behaviors in the way that the men are moving. You're also noticing that their body language seems a little jaunted. You're not certain if it's because perhaps they're trained in a more militaristic movement style in the way that they're supposed to handle a scene or not, but there's definitely something a little bit off to them from what you're accustomed to in people.
And how am I feeling at this point?
You're feeling a lot better. Nick, you can also roll me a perception check along with everybody else, by the way. But everybody else is going to be getting a bonus on the awareness check that I asked for.
I just rolled a 9 on that.
You got a what? I'm sorry, Mike?
9.
9, okay.
I have a
4.
13.
Okay. The 9 and the 13, notice that there is a car coming around the next block from the far side of you guys that seems to be kind of peeling its way in. Taking a tight turn, going extra fast on this road compared to everything else that's been traveling through. And what was your check on that, Nick?
I rolled an 11.
You rolled an
Ooh,
11.
nice.
Okay. 11. Yeah, you would see this too. You hear basically the squealing of tires as it's coming, and you're much closer. It's just a building past you, basically. A building, well, 2 buildings past you, and it's coming around at much faster speeds than all the other cars that have been traveling down this road.
Okay, so something's definitely amiss with this vehicle.
And sorry.
Where is it going?
It's coming down the street in front of the bank. And what were you going to say, Nick?
Oh, it's coming towards us?
It's coming towards you.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to give you one more sentence, and then I'm going to trigger something.
Okay.
So, what would you like to continue your conversation with?
I see this car barreling down. I'm going to shout out to everyone. Hey, everyone! Danger! Back up! there's a car coming towards us.
You shout that out as the car comes in, and why don't we roll initiatives at this moment?
I had one thing I wanted to do.
Sure, go ahead, Brandon.
I wanted to call over to the Jolly Roger and tell it to basically block the officers from the car if it comes swinging at them.
Okay, the Jolly Roger to do that. Well, we're gonna roll initiatives as the front window is down and the back window is down. 2 men come through with big guns, and they're yelling, "Die, coppers!" and they start blasting.
Damn. I hate when they go die coppers.
At 12.
Yeah, I got a 3.
10.
Okay.
6.
Oops. Hold on. I apologize for that. My notepad that I was keeping track of this stuff on just closed itself. Okay, so Brandon is at 10?
Yep.
Okay, and Walt was at 3, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Nick, where were you at?
I rolled a 6.
Okay. And Mike?
12.
Okay.
Way to go.
Kung Fu Robot to save the day.
Bruce!
So we are on top of a building, and the shooting's happening below us. How far up are we?
You are about 20 feet up.
Oh, so he could do a superhero landing.
Yes, you can.
That's what I was thinking. I've got
Superhero landing! Really bad on the knees.
Top of the unit, Mike.
Yep. How many opponents do I see?
You see a car with 2 heads sticking out with guns, just blasting.
So they got some kind of machine guns, and they're just trying to shoot all the cops.
Yep. Die, coppers! They're yelling.
I got super leap. I got super speed. Let me see. What's the smart move here? I'm going to see if I can jump down to the superhero landing and using super speed, run around to the side, the driver's side, and incapacitate the driver. And
Okay.
if I can, if I'm successful in all that, I'm going to try to plow the car into the nearest immovable object, wall, light poles, whatever it might be.
Okay.
So what should I roll for all that?
Yeah, let me look at your character sheet. I thought I downloaded that. I swear I downloaded your character sheet. Where did it go?
Send it back over if you need.
Let me open. I can. Yeah, I'll find it and open it again. All mail. Like.
Let me know. I can send it to you too.
Thanks.
Yeah. It's in the email.
Yeah, Corvid, right? Nope, that's not you.
No, that's one of my other ones.
That was one of Nick's
Yeah,
options.
just send it back over an email.
Okay,
You know, if I keep crafting all of the
the old
Apogee
one.
characters, Nick, we should just do a source book.
I think you're right, and I'm totally down for that.
Source book with a lot of options for characters.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You know, the comic game's been nice, but the real money doesn't.
Yeah.
The RPG.
Merchandising.
Do you have to wear a
Okay.
mustache when you say that?
So
Or be dressed as yogurt.
Yeah, gotcha.
What kind of yogurt?
so I would say that
Cherry vanilla.
I would say what you're asking for, it would be 2 actions. The first action is to incapacitate the driver.
Okay.
You're going to, and you can choose to use either your athleticism on that, or your teleport, or your, I guess your super weapon would work.
Yeah. Let's see. Super weapon. I got 4D. That's probably the smartest way to
You
go.
go in and you blast him with your palm.
I think in this case, I think super weapons. It's just my kung fu hands, right? Well,
Yes, that is your
Right, so
ultimate
you go-
robotic Buddha palm.
So you go palm. That's why I said palm blast him.
yeah, basically. All right. So that's rolling a 4D, right?
Sure.
All right. Roll. Oh, that's not terrible. Got a 10.
You got a 10.
Mhm.
Okay. Let me check something. So he takes the hit and he reels. The wheel goes out spinning a bit, but he still seems to be conscious at the moment. He still seems to be aware and he's trying to regain control of his vehicle. But the spinning of the gun seems to have changed trajectory. And I'm
In a
going to
good way or a bad way?
Well, it's now spraying away from the cops, and it may actually, depending on where that car goes before the next action, be hitting some civilians.
Nuns, orphans.
People that getting up for the day and starting to head out to their business, or some people that are out this early in the morning for whatever reason.
Okay.
So civilians,
Still
no
okay.
nuns.
Gotcha.
Okay. At this point, it is Brandon's turn. I rolled low on my init. Brandon, your action.
I hate joining the game when I don't know the players. I'm going to open the violin case up and pull out the Tommy gun.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
So I have shooting, a specialization in using the Tommy gun. I also have extra effect versus mooks.
Okay. There happen to be some mooks in the car.
Okay. And it's also an area effect too.
This is
Okay.
just fantastic. I just want to tell you. Little girl
Go for
popping
it.
a violin case, throwing a Tommy gun. Extra effect versus Mook. Oh my god. I love being a player in my own game.
So, are there 2 different groups in the car? Or,
There are 2 different groups of mooks in the car.
okay, so I'm going to be targeting both of them.
Okay.
6 dice, keep 3.
Okay.
We are at 15.
At 15, that's 3rd degree of success, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's a good success. So Bruce, you see.
Well, they can resist with their, whatever rating of mooks they are.
Oh, that's true. Let me try that real quick.
I mean, if you're doing it quickly, you can by all means do
Yeah.
it without their roll.
I don't think a 3 works. Okay. I don't think a 360 in that roll.
It works fine for us.
It works fine for you. So Bruce, you see that the three guys sitting in the back, crowded in the back seat, all dunk, 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 and the passenger in the car also goes dunk.
These are less than lethal rounds, but you know, things happen with less than lethal ammunitions.
Okay, well, the four guys in the car, other than the driver, just knocked out. Bruce, all you have is the driver now.
Do I need to take control of the car? Is it out of control?
The driver is trying to fight for control. The driver is still conscious and aware, but is definitely reeling from your attack. He rolled really suck too. I can't seem to roll anything decent. So you two would be fighting for control of the car at the moment.
Okay, but Wendy's gone, I've gone. We still have Smoke Chaser and Phantom Hawk, right?
Yes. And speaking of which, we now have Phantom Hawk's turn.
Oh, awesome. Okay, the car's still in motion and the guy's still struggling for control.
Yeah, car's still in motion. It, swerved when the driver took a hit, and it's now basically careening into the next lane, and the angle is now aimed away from the cops and towards civilians on the street.
Towards civilians on the street. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many civilians? Like a crowd? Like
it's 5:30 in the morning, so these are the people that need to go to an early shift of work. It's not too crowded. You probably have about 6 or 7, across the block.
Okay, so it's too many for me to shoot a grappling hook and Batman style swoop in and grab them. All right, I'm going to reach into my utility belt and try and get some caltrops, tire deflation devices, and hopefully that slows the car down to the point where it stops. So what do I need?
And therefore have specified aim. Cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead and try it.
What do I need to roll for that? How many dice?
Let me look at your character. Well, what would you like to use?
Oh, that goes with, I guess that's my wizardry. Must fit on utility belt. So that would be my tools, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 3D.
So at 3D, you need to do an activation roll. So basically, like you're able to quickly access the pouch and produce the item, in the a required amount of time.
Yeah, so you roll your activation to see how many of your 3 dice you actually get, and then based on your success, you get that many dice.
Okay, is that 160 when I roll the activation roll?
No, 3.
No,
it's a
3.
It's going to be 360.
Yep.
3d6, yes.
Okay. All right. So the activation roll was a 4.
So he's going to get 1.
Yeah, you only get 1 die.
Okay. So maybe
that made it easy. I was about to go look up the chart, and I'm like, oh, well, that's just 1 die.
I thought it was all or nothing.
Let's see.
That's only if he calls it first, because I thought if basically you can do a version of a called shot saying I want this many dice, and then if you roll it, it's an all or nothing fail. If you are just activating, you only get 1. You only get what you roll. I thought that's what I remember. Am I wrong, Walt?
I'm looking it up right now. I got it right in front of me. This is very exciting radio, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, he had to actually have to.
You have the final say as the judge.
Yeah, normally how we run it is you declare the number of dice you're trying for, and then you roll for it to see if you hit that. So, in this case,
I was just going to say, normally in the game, if Brandon is right, if you fail the roll, then you're fumbling too long, so you kind of like miss your action. But it also says that the judge can mediate this on the fly. Yeah.
So in general, he wants to basically say, I want all 3 dice for my wizardry to activate, or 2 of these dice is good enough, and then he just rolls for the activation. Okay. So I'm going to say in this case, that 1 die is not going to do it.
Okay. I fumbled around.
You fumbled around, could not get it. Yeah. And that would bring us to me. The car at this point, the driver drops his Tommy gun onto the pavement of the street, and he reels back and he tries to punch you, Bruce. This is kind of dumb. So what are you going to use for defense?
Let's Let's see. Smart move is probably, I got 4D in reaction, I believe.
Okay.
Verify that. Yeah, I got 4D in reaction. I'll just use that to sidestep.
Sure.
So let me pull up my fancy online die roller.
Go ahead and roll your dice roller. Go ahead and you roll it.
I got an 8.
I got a 9.
Ah, you got me. Okay.
Seriously, you only got an 8?
I only got an 8 out of 4D.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I got you.
You just picked the highest, right?
Yeah, you picked your highest 3.
Highest 3?
Hold on, he's using an aptitude?
Oh, you're not using aptitude. You're using a power, right?
I was using reaction. Is that a power or an aptitude?
That's a defense, so
a defense.
you're fine on keeping all your dice.
Yeah, you keep all your dice. I apologize. Yeah, you keep all. So how many are you?
I've got 12.
Then you're fine. He swings and your head just dodges out of the way. You're just too good at being Kung Fu master to take a thug swing.
And I look very calm and cool while I do it.
Awesome.
What a badass.
And he, with his other hand, is trying to steer the car. And at that point, that's his action. The car is still, he's still Tweety birding, so it's now careening towards the sidewalk where there are people. And now it's Walt's turn.
I love it when it's my turn. Those rounds toward the civilians, are those still in flight?
Yeah, it's a quick enough situation that there are still rounds in flight.
I am going to try and create a portal that re-aims all those rounds away from the civilians back to everybody in the car.
Okay. Go ahead and roll it.
I'm going to activate my power. I need a 12. I got more than a 12, so there's...
so you get your full 4 die of wizardry.
Yep. And then I just activate the portal. I'm going to use the 4D as an attack, basically, against all the mooks in the car, using the rounds coming in, redirected through, freaking funny wizardry space, right back into the car. That's 12, 14, 17.
17. Ooh, okay. That I'm going to roll that. 10. I got a 12 on my defense. So you beat me by 5.
I love beating everybody by 5, which it's the only thing I'm going to be able to do that with. Everything else is pretty mundane on this character.
Okay. I'm going to take it on that. The driver just through the windshield, Bruce, you see 2 bullets come in, and it hits the driver, one in the shoulder. Sorry, guys. One in the shoulder, one grazing his head, and he seems to basically be going limp at this point. So you will not need to fight for control of the car at this point. You'll just need to tell me what your intention is on your next init, which is you now.
Oh, okay. So I don't need to fight for control. I can just take control and bring the car to a stop.
You can. You just need to roll me some athleticism to get yourself in the car, push him out of the way, so you can hit the brakes and such like that. So roll me athleticism and don't fail.
Okay, so that's 3D. Do I take top 2 or all of them?
No, all 3.
All 3. Okay.
Yep. Athleticism. It's all 3.
Rolling.
3 dice.
I have 13.
13. So you guys all see the Kung Fu Ninja robot jump into the window, kicking the driver out of the way, literally, and sliding into the driver's seat, slamming into the brakes. You see smoke coming out of the back wheels, and you're turning the car away from the sidewalk and pull it to a stop.
Excellent. Is there anyone in the car we can interrogate, or are they all incapacitated one way or another?
They're all unconscious at the moment. Whether they're dead or not, you can probably get them awake to interrogate something.
So I will try to wave over the rest of the party, and hopefully someone has methods to revive them one way or another.
Lucky for you, I was cross-trained as a medic when I was in the Army, so I do have a small little vial of adrenaline. That should wake them right up.
Ooh. Well, the cops who had been trying to, as your slow motion cut, that they were taking cover and such like that, and they were trying to start shooting back. They start regaining their positioning and trying to reestablish command of the situation. There are a couple wounded officers. They are bleeding. And yeah, at this point, what would you guys like to be doing? I heard someone has adrenaline.
I do have adrenaline. So let's see what these guys are all about. I think we should pick out which one we think is in charge. Probably not the guy driving, but who knows? What do you guys think?
I'm gonna look over at Smoke Chaser, and I'm like, "Are you able to get us down there?"
Yep. So we'll craft a quick smoke jump to put us on the street, and then stand very still once we appear, with our hands up, and say, "We're with them."
Okay.
He's got our cookies.
While all these guys are doing that, I will take my 2D of medical training and do basic first aid on the cops who are wounded.
This is my idea. Well, Smoke Chaser might be thinking about that. As I'm asking him, I'm stashing my Tommy gun back in my violin case, and as soon as we're down there, I'm running towards the cops to, get pressure on it and such, give some basic medical aid on the ones that were injured.
Sure. You hear, as you guys are doing first aid, you hear basically it coming over the car radio that the bank robbers are reported to have escaped during the distraction, and it's coming over the radio from wherever it's coming from. It's not being reported from this scene, but it is informing the people on this scene that the bank robbers at this location have escaped. You guys are dealing with first aid. Nick, you adrenaline. Which one would you like to adrenaline?
I'm gonna grab the driver and pull him out.
Okay.
I'm gonna lay him on the ground. I'm gonna set up his arm for a possible arm bar in case he gets rowdy, and I'm also gonna place my knee on his chest because I know the effects of adrenaline when it goes into the heart and you wake up from that is very
very uncomfortable.
It's uncomfortable, it's violent, and it's going to get a reaction. So I want to be able to control this dude when he wakes up so I can, slam him up against the wall for a little bit, smack him around, and get some information out of him.
Okay.
So let's see what I need to, how many dice.
But adrenaline with gunshot wounds, without the gunshot wound treatment, also means he's bleeding out that much faster.
It will. It'll start pumping him out. So I'm going to have to do, all right, well, before I give him the adrenaline, I should probably treat those wounds real quick.
Might be a good idea. He's got a couple gunshots.
Yeah.
I'm updating. So I based the sheet on the Phantom Hawk comic.
Okay.
So as Nick is giving us more insight, I'm updating the sheets, and I keep updating the character sheet in the thread, the email thread. So
okay.
He should have medical technology now at 2D.
Okay.
Medical tech at 2D. Right.
What did he lose in response? Because he
just technology. It's just changed over to medical technology now.
Okay, medical tech.
Cool. So basically he's got that medical training.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll.
Go ahead.
260 roll, and I rolled an 11.
Okay. So, you rolled an 11.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to staunch his wounds. Tourniquet. You did not tourniquet him in the neck. That's
no.
Medic
no,
101. Do not tourniquet to the neck. Medic
Unless you really dislike the guy, then definitely put a tourniquet on his neck.
So
on the joints, which are also not supposed to be. But.
Yep. So you got him. You're fine. You can adrenaline him now.
All right. Cool. So that goes back. I figured that would be under medical tech, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So it's another 2D. And I rolled a 2, so I probably didn't hit as hard. I probably just stabbed him right in the sternum.
Ooh. Okay.
Or a lung.
Oh, ouch. Okay. You do not wake him with that.
We don't
not
judge.
immediately. Because it didn't hit IM and it didn't hit the heart, so it's not going to wake him immediately.
No, it's going to take a minute.
Yeah. So,
How does the senior officer on the scene react to us appearing?
he is, as I said, starting to trying to get everybody back into their positions. When he sees you appear and you're like with them, he actually disengages from what he was doing and calls out to somebody second in command and to take over. And he walks over to you and says, I guess I have you to thank for my life. So,
We're just here to help.
I'm Sergeant Rains.
I shake his hand.
And he offers you his hand.
I'm Chaser. This is Wendy.
Wendy and Chaser. Nice to meet you. But where'd you capes come from? Last cape died last month. Or disappeared.
We're standing in until your capes can be repopulated.
That's a pretty dangerous job.
We're up to the task. Besides, we have Phantom Hawk. He takes a lot of gunfire.
Phantom Hawk lifts his head up. Hi.
Where did these gun runners come from to start? Do you think they created a distraction in order to have somebody free themselves from the bank?
It's possible. I mean, they're the Capone Capers syndicate. They hire out to a lot of different groups. There's been some talk about some things going on around here, but my boss said it's pure science fiction. Can't do what they're talking about. But there's been something about some sort of thing being put together.
So they're probably hiring out for a big job?
It's possible. I mean, the Capone Caper Syndicate, they run the crime around here. If there's some supervillain that wants to buy some sort of object or wants to steal some sort of object, then they're probably going to use them for cover and protection.
So we should probably wake one of these guys up. Wendy's got the duty on the officers, right? Wendy's healing the officers. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Brandon, are you laughing at me for naming them the Capone Capers? Okay.
No.
And do they actually have capes? And do they all look like Capone?
No, they don't all look like Capone. They just look like mobsters. Capone Caper Syndicate.
All right. So I'm going to see if I can assist Phantom Hawk's role in trying to resuscitate some of these guys.
Sure.
I am going to dip into the wizardry again, and I am going to try a healing roll. So I'm going to use 4 dice. I need a 12 to. Okay, so I fail.
Okay, you guys don't want to wake these guys up.
Apparently, the mumbo jumbo isn't working for me either.
Okay.
All right, so I wave my hands around and I'm like, and kabam!
And kabam! Nothing happened.
Okay, I'm just going to stand here waving my fingers until something happens.
Okay.
How long after we wait a few minutes does the adrenaline from Phantom Hawk eventually wake this guy up?
It's going to eventually wake him up, and given the level of miss, he's going to come into a little more
pain.
Yeah, and a little less jolted.
All right. I look to the officer. I'm like, do you have the ability to call an ambulance?
Yeah, well, medics are already on the way. They're responding to another scene across town. We've been having a lot of problems. They said that they'll be here as soon as they can.
What's the other scene around town? Is this linked? Do you think one distraction could be leading into another?
I don't know. Chi-Town's been dealing with a lot of crime the past month since our last protector's gone.
And did the villains all team up and get rid of your heroes? Was there some sort of event? What happened to them?
Honestly, none of us remember.
It was a multi-part Marvel event. It tied all the books together. It took 2.5 years to complete.
Written by Brian Michael Bendis.
2 years ago, our no, I already had the 2 years ago. If you remember, about an hour ago, I mentioned 2 years ago already.
Doesn't
maybe
Brandon
not
get a
now.
competency die for that?
Yeah, but go ahead, Brandon. Competency die. So
Nice.
2 years ago, there was some sort of big attack from an organized group of supervillains. Most of them died, but there've been some stragglers around. Chi-Town's had its own protector for the last 2 years, but about a month ago, the last of our protectors, well, he disappeared.
Excuse me, officer. What is the year?
2019.
Good to know.
Shit.
All right, so I'm going to turn around real quick and take out my cell phone.
Okay.
Does my cell phone register any signal?
No.
Okay.
4E does not work here.
So,
Alice, hearing the year, I want to go ahead and go to academia and try and think of some of the people that in history might have maybe been different or removed from their history to ours that might lead to some of those technological changes that we're seeing.
Go for it.
So I rolled my wizardry and I made the DC on
Okay.
it. So
While you're doing that, though, Nick, you actually do get warning before the guy wakes up, because as a medic, you'll know that the body will start to shake
Yes.
from the adrenaline. As someone who's been shot with adrenaline way too many times in my life, about 1,000, his body's starting to shake as he's coming to.
Okay. What am I going to do? Okay, well,
Effie's no joke.
I got it. I got his arm, and I got him restrained. So
Okay.
I am noticing that he's starting to shake. It's not as bad as if he had got a full impact in the heart, but he is shaking. So I am going to try and calm him down. Like, hey, buddy, you're all right. You're all right. You're all right. I treated your wounds, but you're going to really wish I didn't. So
Okay.
I'm going to use a little bit of intimidation to let him know that I mean business. Does he start calming down at all, or?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Well, he. Why don't you roll me your presence for one,
right.
and start with that.
Look at my chart here. Presence
and-
2D.
And Brandon, yeah, you go through your mind on that. There
I have a 9 on my academia.
Okay. So you go through your mind, and I, as a person, just forgot the name. Oh, this is suck. The woman who invented the telephone, that actually invented the telephone, and is the reason we have Bluetooth today.
Harold Bluetooth, the Viking.
No. Shoot. Woman.
You mean Hedy Lamar?
Thank you, Hedy Lamar. I was trying to remember her name.
I am now having flashbacks to Blazing Saddles.
Yep. Oh, I rolled an 8 on presence.
He rolled an 8 on presence, okay? He looks a bit terrified that he's being crushed, and you're a cape, and he's pretty much terrified at the moment. Looking up at you with big bulging eyes.
Bulging eyes.
Yep.
Deer in the headlights.
Deer in the headlights.
All right, I'm going to lean in real close because it's very intimidating when you invade people's personal space, even more than I'm already doing. Who sent you?
He looks at you like it should be obvious. Capone.
Why did he send you? Is he after the money, or is there something else in that vault?
He's already been paid. We were just supposed to come and shoot the place up when the cops arrived.
Why don't you want the cops here?
I don't know. Above my pay grade, buddy. Can I go now?
I grab him by the... I flick him in the forehead.
You capes don't kill people, right? That's what they always say.
I do. All All right.
He
So
swallows hard. You can see his Adam's apple bulging out as he's swallowing. Hey, look, man, I'm just a hired gun. I get paid like everybody else. Just my job, doing my job.
okay. Well, while I still have him restrained, I'm going to start Terry frisking him, searching him for some sort of communication device so I can get some intel off of that.
Ooh, nice. I forgot about. Oh, maybe they have like steam-driven cell phones or something.
Some sort of steampunk.
I actually did have an idea for what the device is going to look like. And yeah, it looks like a steampunk influenced Star Trek communicator. You know, you flip it open, or a steampunk looking flip phone.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay, cool. Does it have an interactive screen that you can kind of like scroll through, or is it just straight analog, push the buttons? And
well, when you open it, again, the hologram pops up.
Oh, okay, yeah,
it's got
that cool future tech.
You push the buttons on it, and then different things come up on the hologram.
Okay. And technology like that probably has voice activation. So I flip it open, the hologram pops up, and I wonder how I get to the last call made, and then the phone automatically tries to dial the last number that it was in contact with.
Okay. You find that you are not authorized to use that phone. It is locked. So when you try to actually do that, you can't get in.
I shove the phone in the person's face, in the criminal's face, unlock it, or I break your arm.
Okay, he will unlock it for you.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Alice?
He will unlock it for you. And Brandon, as for the personnel that would have had to change in history, Hedy Lamarr and Nikola Tesla, there would have had to be changes in history dealing with them.
Gotcha. I'm going to squirrel that away and just kind of look that up if we ever get a moment.
Okay. And
okay,
Nick,
so
he unlocks the phone for you, yes.
Okay. Dial the last number you called.
Okay, he dialed the last number he called.
Okay, who's on the other end?
Howard! Why don't you call your mother anymore? I told you, you need to call me. I've been so worried about you, Howard. You okay, son?
We found the kingpin.
It's Mrs. Wallowitz. So your last name would be Wallowitz, would it?
Are you making a brisket tonight?
Are you making a brisket? I'll be over at 8. All right. Well, I apologize to the woman on the other end, informing her that her son is in police custody right now for being a very bad boy. And then
Howard's always getting himself into trouble, never calls me enough, and he said earlier that he'd call me again later, and he hasn't called, and I've been waiting by the phone.
I hand the phone over to, what's his name, Howard? Howard, apologize to your mother for being a piece of shit, son.
I'm sorry, Mom.
I nominate both Nick and the GM for competency dice, even though she's using my Howard Hackman's mother character from my game.
Howard Hackman? I love it.
Yeah, Howard Hackman's a player character. Yeah, it's actually a piece. Howard Hackman's actually a PC from another game.
So he's apologizing. I'm like, all right.
Yes. Sorry, Mom. And he sounds like a 5-year-old, like a schoolboy talking to his mother now. Sorry, Mom.
Swear to your mother that you're never going to do anything like this ever again.
I swear, Mom, I won't do anything like this ever again.
Just having a Dr. Phil moment via Phantom Hawk right now is kind of like a fan's wet dream. This is this is pretty good.
So I flick him in the forehead again with my middle finger, really hard this time. I'm like, you worry your poor mother. You have a good day, Mrs. Hackman.
And she goes, see, you're a good boy. You want to come over for dinner? I got this nice girl I want to meet you. I want to introduce you to.
I'll see if I can make it. Let's see how the day unfolds. I got your number.
My daughter will love you.
I look at Howard and I'm like, is she good looking?
He nods, scared, terrified.
Dude, that's my sister.
Well, play your cards right. I might be your brother-in-law. Shut up. So we end the call, and I'm like, and then I tell him to call his boss, his criminal boss. If he has a day job, I don't need to be reaching Chi-Town's pet emporium where he's a stock boy or anything like that. Because then I'm just going to get mad.
Sure.
Okay.
He calls his boss for you.
Okay. Hello, sir. Who am I speaking with?
Who am I talking to? You ain't Howard.
No, I'm definitely not Howard. I'm Phantom Hawk, and when I find you, I'm going to mess you up. But before that, I got some questions for you. Don't bother hanging up. We're tracing this call. It's a bluff. But
We can trace it.
we can trace it? All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're tracing this call. So if you hang up on this, I just cannot stand rudeness. So I will find you. And then whatever I do to Howard, which is going to be a lot, I'm going to do tenfold to you. You dig?
Hey, Lou, this call's for you. He throws the phone at someone else.
Well, talk to Lou.
All right, Lou. Hey, Lou, I understand you sent Howard on this big job to make my dogs bark in the middle of a very important part of the story. I believe you sent Howard on a big job here. I just want to know why. What's in this bank vault that you guys want? Or why don't you want the cops investigating the bank vault?
Hey, look, I know nothing about the bank vault. I just do what I was told. I got a call saying send a 5-man crew, shoot the place up. That's all. They some guy named Blue Icer or something like that hired us to just shoot the place up. Said he was building something, need something, and needed a distraction. So, yeah. Look. We're just the hired guns here. You don't need to track us down. We're just doing our jobs and our business. You go find the guys that. Hey, look, you need some goons? We'll hire you some goons. We'll work for you, buddy. You pay good?
I'll pay you with your own life. Hey, Smoke Chaser, can you teleport this asshole here?
Done.
Go ahead and hang up the phone. You and me are going to talk face to face. And bring your buddy with you.
All right, I need a 12. I have a 16 to activate.
Okay.
And I'm going to create a dimensional portal centered on the target of that call. So what target number do I need to hit?
You're going to need at least 4 dice on that so you're going to need at least a 12 because you have very little information about where this person is.
I got a 14.
You did get it. So, you teleport him here. He's got his phone in his hand and he plops right down on the floor like he was sitting. He must have been sitting when you grabbed him. And so he just falls his butt right onto the guy that you're holding down, right onto Howard. And he looks up. Hi? Oh, sorry, wrong voice. Hi. Look, I said I'll work for you all. Look, my boss is I just know that's a Blue Icer. That's what my boss told me. Did a job for Blue Icer. Look, I'm just the accountant here.
How do we find Blue
I just track the money.
How do we find Blue Icer?
Well, I know he's got this place down in by the docks. He's got this warehouse. You know, he's got that export company. Don't you live around here?
No. I hand him a notebook and a pencil, and I'm like, write it down.
Okay, he writes it down. Look. I'm just the money counter, just the accountant. I mean, like I said, I can hire jobs for you. I can get you goons if you need goons. That's all I do.
You're the accountant for who? I say as I'm starting to come over. I'm assuming some techs have come out.
Capone Caper. I mean, ain't you from around here? Capone Caper runs this town.
No, they don't. So, not anymore.
What do you do? What are you financing?
That's about my pay grade, lady.
But you're handling the money.
Yeah, locally. Then I send it to my boss, and then my boss deals with it.
Who's your boss?
I don't know. You know your boss?
I'm my boss, so I know him very well.
Well, you're lucky to be self-employed this day and age. It ain't for. Oh, sorry, wrong voice again. You're lucky to be self-employed. Not all of us. No, not all of us can get self-employed. This day and age, there aren't that many jobs around. We get what we can. I got a family to feed. I mean,
our top cop friend, his name was Rains.
Yeah, Rains.
I say, you getting all this, Officer Rains?
Yeah, I am. Look, we'll just lock him up with the others, but he'll be back on the street within a day. I mean, they'll send their lawyers.
So, in our timeline,
you're gonna get locked up with the others? I mean, those big, strong guys that, I mean, he heard you just start to sell them all out.
What's the terminology of this? Well, I mean, it's 2019, so, I mean, but it looks like they would still use the phrase, you're singing like a canary.
Yep. That's the way that it looks, doesn't it? Also, Brandon, I did want to bring something up to you. You were, Brandon was the only medic, right?
Yeah, well, he was administering help to some of the cops and stuff like that, so paramedics get that there.
The wounds weren't bleeding as much as they should have on any of them.
And Mike, what were you going to say?
Oh, the guy had mentioned he was working for the Capone Caper. The
Capone Capers, yes.
Can we ask him about that?
Sure.
Because in our timeline, Capone died of a heart attack in 1947.
But he died of syphilis.
Well, he had a lot of health problems. Syphilis was definitely one of them.
Attaboy.
Well,
way to make it weird.
Yeah. The guy's not.
If you ever read a Phantom Hawk comic, he does that.
So
the guy not bleeding as much is worth hanging on to because that kind of strengthens the wear in a simulation theory. But I'd like to ask him more about the Capone Capers because that seems like maybe that's a lead worth following on.
Sure. Capone, he's the Godfather. You know, he runs everything.
How old is Alphonse Capone?
Alphonse Capone's dead. His son Nicky Capone runs everything from New York.
From New York, okay.
And then his daughter runs stuff from out in California.
Interesting.
So you said the guys aren't bleeding as much as they should
Sophie,
be.
that's her name.
The guys who aren't bleeding as much as they should be when I'm tending to their wounds, does that look like because the type of munitions that were used, or is something just wrong?
Something's just a little bit off. The wounds are not bleeding as much as they should. They're bleeding. They're just not bleeding as much as they should.
So someone's put the PG-13 filter on this video game.
Yeah, something like that.
Can I take a whack at them? Use supernatural senses to see if they're fully human.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to use all 4 dice. I got a 15 to activate, and I got a 22.
Nice.
For the roll.
No, they're not fully human. They seem mostly so, but there seem to be they don't seem to have the human makeup that you are accustomed to from your world. They seem, best way for you to probably put it together would be that they're cloned. That the cops have some sort of genetic manipulation, genetic growth to it.
Interesting. All right, so I kind of call everybody over, get a little huddle, and I relay this information.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And, say, well, apparently, we're A, not in Kansas anymore, but B, the next step in figuring out what's going on here so we can address it and then hopefully get home will be to chase down this Blue Icer guy, I would assume. What do you guys think?
Well, somehow we ended up in some weird Art Deco Blade Runner. I just want to get home. So whatever we got to do to do that, I'll kill everyone here. Well, I mean the bad guys anyway.
Okay, thank you.
good guys can stay, but so these guys are like replicants, or they're
Vet grown flatfoots.
Well, even the Capone Caper gang, they're clones as well, right?
Nobody's no, the blood seemed to run normally on those guys.
Those guys. So it's just the cops.
Yeah, just the cops.
makes
Interesting.
sense. Well, they keep bringing up this Blue Icer guy, so he's got to be behind it or know something.
Yeah.
Can somebody get on the the worldwide Steam web and like find? Is there any sort of mention as to the police officers being different, a totally different segment of the population?
I do, but it just keeps saying that the video games on my watch list are on sale.
Competency die.
All right, so Blue Icer, we have an address for him. Should we go tackle that next, or should we check out the second scene of whatever's going on over here? Because the police had a second incident that happened just at the same time. So we know something was taken from the safety deposit box that left a residual dimensional energy. That's probably what brought us here. Maybe. But, I mean, if there was a second mission that was going down, what did they take?
Yeah, we should probably check that out.
And do we have a way that we could maybe get into bank records and find out who owned that box and what was taken?
That was my plan, but we were evacuated from the area before that was an option.
Ask the cops. Hey, do you know what was taken? Do you have a list of what was taken? Did you guys assess the scene yet?
How much cooperation versus just like weird shit are the cops at this point? Like, are they working with us or?
They seem to be working with you to an extent, but there's something weird about the way that they're acting. Like they're not certain they should work with you, but they seem like they are driven to work with you. If that makes sense. There's something wrong in the way that they're approaching you guys. And
a little too trusting right off the bat.
Yeah, a little too trusting right off the bat, even though they're like trying to put up roadblocks for you guys when they're talking. They're like, well, we shouldn't give you this information, blah, 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 blah. That's the way that they're going about
These guys are conditioned or programmed to respond to people like us in a positive light.
So, and since, we're going to be short on time, I'm going to say, yeah, by all means, fast forwarding a little bit, they discover that there was some sort of energy core that was being held in the safety deposit box. That was the, and the name registered on it is to the Kiesler family. Kiesler family is known to be a very old money family. The most famous member of Kiesler family was Hedy Lamarr.
Oh, interesting.
Who was several generations ago. There were some other things that were not identified as what was actually being held in the safety deposit boxes, but all the safety deposit boxes that were for that family, all three of them were broken into and taken. The only one that they knew about was some sort of weird energy core that was patent pending and had not been brought out to the real world yet. And the only reason that was even in the inventory was because it had extra insurance, because stuff like that needed extra insurance, so therefore it had to be stated what it was. The rest of the boxes were taken but not inventoried.
Anyone else find it a little curious that energy cores are being stored in a bank vault?
Yes. Almost like it was set up there so that somebody could get at it. All right.
So now you guys have two choices. You guys can go investigate the other scene, or you guys can go to the boss.
Well, do they have radio communication with the other scene?
Yeah, they do.
And what's the status of the other scene? What happened?
The other scene was on the other side of town. 3 homes were broken into. Well, they think it's 3 homes. They have 2 other homes that are right on the cul-de-sac that the residents are all on vacation at the moment, not home. But 3 homes that were occupied were broken into, and assaulted. People were assaulted and attacked. Asked for, and they were still trying to clean up and trying to help the people.
Was it like a home invasion?
Home invasions, yes. For all the, for 3. So there are 5 buildings in the cul-de-sac, and 3 of them had residents in it. They're still trying to evaluate if the other 2 homes were invaded.
These have anything to do with the families who own the patents on all of this stuff from the bank?
The Keesler family.
Alice, I want. Are the officers in the bank yet, or are they worried about the scene here? Okay.
They'd be in the bank at this point because we're trying to fast forward a little bit. So over the next, this is stuff that you guys are handling over the next half hour.
I want to go into the bank, just kind of slip away, and I've got my security box numbers.
Okay.
That were opened. I want to go find the records for the owners of that while the officers are in there and talk my way with them about, finding that out.
Yeah, that was covered. The 3 boxes belong to the Keesler family.
All 3. Oh, okay.
All 3.
I thought
Only one of the boxes had any inventory that was actually listed because of extra insurance purposes. Everything else is kept private. They didn't write down what was in it because people go in, put items in safety deposit boxes. The only time they have to declare is when there's extra insurance placed on something. So, and Walt, in regards to your question, the one of the houses apparently belongs to someone who does work for the as an assistant to Maria Keesler, the current CEO.
Uh-oh.
She froze.
Oh, she's back.
And she's back.
Hi, I'm back. Okay, so the
Maria Keesler's assistant?
Yeah, Maria Keesler's assistant.
All right, so we have 2 incidences, both involving the Keesler family in one way or the other.
Do we want to contact them, or do we want the police to contact them?
Well, that's up to you guys.
Well, we have the cops on our side. I say have them go talk to the Keesler family and do their thing. And
send in the clowns. I mean, the cops.
Send in the clown cops, the triple C's.
Sure.
And then we can go investigate further with the blue icer.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. So I have a quick question for you guys. How much time do we have at this point? Because I had 3 more bullet points, and so I'm just wondering which bullet points I should run, which ones I shouldn't.
I've got a hard stop in about half an hour to get my kid from school. So
okay, great.
Same.
I know which bullet points to do. Fantastic. So we're going to now cut to the final boss then. Cool.
All right.
Dun-dun-dun.
Okay. So you guys head over to the docks, and you guys in the behind the scenes are letting cops get you information, stuff like that. When you guys get to the docks, there's the warehouse that you guys found the address to, and there is this beam of light coming out from the skylight in it.
That's always good.
That's always good, right?
X marks the spot right there.
X marks the spot. So, this is a 2-story warehouse with windows on the upper story. There is at least one. There's definitely ramps and such like that on the. There's metal balcony, fire escape type things on the 2nd floor. That's what I meant to say. And there's obviously a skylight in the middle of the building on the top. And again, the building is old, looks like 1920s factory style building. Take it away.
Do we want to? Do I want to do my travel agent thing and put everybody on the roof?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Wendy?
If that's our approach, by all means, I'm good with it.
It's easier to work a building top down.
All right. Let's, yeah, that way we can flush out the rats.
That's right.
All right. I'm going to, I only need a 2D to put us on the roof from where we are. So I got a 10 to activate. I only need a 6. So 1D to get us all up there with an area effect so that we can all do it all at once. And now we're on the roof.
Okay.
Awesome.
So why don't you guys make me awareness checks so you guys can look inside and such like that?
I'm going to, instead of using regular awareness, I'm going to use my wizardry again.
Okay.
So I'm going to activate 2D. I need a 6. I got a 7. And I got a 4.
16.
Okay. 16, I hear, is the high, right? Nobody else beat 14?
What are we rolling?
Awareness.
Awareness.
All right. Let me go ahead.
Or,
and
you know, awareness. To look inside. See what you guys pick up from a glance.
Apparently, I'm blind.
The light is blinding you. The blinding light.
Phantom Hawk rolled an 8.
8, okay? So you'll see some things, but you won't see the same. And Mike, what'd you roll?
9.
Okay. 8 up. What you see when you guys look down into the skylight is what seems to be a medical lab of sorts. There is a pod inside it, and there's a medicine bed, but the medical bed, and then there's those quarantine tents, the clear quarantine tents, and then there's some strange machinery. Brandon, at the 16, you notice that there seems to be a woman in the bed. That seems to be unconscious, strapped up with all sorts of, intubation, IV, the works.
Does it look?
I will point her out. We seem to have an occupant here. Are they?
It's so bright.
Does this look experimental or medical in nature?
Experimental.
Their medical technology is beyond me, and I would not know everything that we should do to bring her out of this. But it does not look to me that she is submitting to this of her volition.
Do we have techs, docs, lab personnel running around? Is there somebody twirling a mustache and or rubbing his hands together in a creepy way?
No, but there is this strange locomotive track and a lot of rope.
So there is not, from what you are seeing, where what you see, you do not see any any techs from the small area you can look down on.
So it looks like our immediate goal would be to free her from her imprisonment.
Well, we got to be cautious because we don't know what removing her from the machines might do to her.
Do we see guards, patrols, orderlies?
From up here in the skylight angle, you don't see any at the moment.
What level of restraint is she in?
She is strapped down, like, when the basic cuffs when, someone's sedated and you don't
So
want
simply medical restraint.
Medical restraints, yes.
Okay.
She also seems to have some sort of electrode system around her head.
Like a halo.
Yeah.
I could not.
They don't expect much of a fight from her. She's only in a medical level restraint, so.
I could knock on the door and pretend I am a pizza delivery robot.
That is amazing. Let's do that.
I'm for it.
Once I can do recon. That was a joke. It's probably a really bad idea, but get things moving.
Pizza delivery.
Okay, so you go downstairs. You pretend you're pizza delivery guy.
Seems like a bad idea.
When has that ever stopped us before?
That is a horrible idea.
Do you actually make any attempt at having a pizza box of any sort?
Are there any lying outside on the street, just discarded in the gutter, perhaps?
If not, I can Harry Potter that together.
Oh, well, true. You can Harry Potter that together. Sure. Why don't you Harry Potter him a stack of pizzas? That's true. Walt gave you a box of piping hot pizza. Okay.
This worked as an excellent plan for Jubilee in Uncanny X-Men 261, so I am happy to be a part of this.
So you guys go. So where are the rest of you waiting while he's going up to the door?
I'm gonna stay on the roof. Are any of the skylight open, or is it something we're gonna have to break through to get in there if we need?
You can open it. You don't need to break it, but none of them are actively open at the moment.
I'm gonna check it with intrusion for alarms similar to things to that.
Roll
okay?
it. Okay, yeah, roll it. And Mike, you knock on the door, and you say, "What do you say exactly?"
8 by the.
Huh? Oh, sorry, someone else is talking. Who answers after I knock?
There's a voice from the other side saying, "Who is it?"
I got your pizza order.
You hear mumbling in the back, in the other side that you don't comprehend, and
Andy Graham for Mungo.
Love it.
no one ordered a pizza. Got the wrong address. He calls out through the door
I'm
again.
going to try to act annoyed to brute force the situation. I'll be like, look, I got 25 Hawaiian pizzas here. You know how many pineapples that is? I had to cut them personally. Telling me this is a mistake? No, I'm here in 20 minutes. Let me inside and tip me.
Okay. So why don't you roll me? Yeah, at this point you're going to need to roll me some sort of bluff check for him. So let me look at your character sheet and figure out which one that would be.
Okay, yeah, my character sheet just crashed a minute ago, so if you could let me know, that would be great.
Sure. You know, you have you don't really have many skills in that department on social skills here that I see.
I want to go grab another beer, but I am intrigued to how this is going to play out.
You know, I'm trying to figure out what
my defining characteristics for this character. So,
I'm guessing the best one would be composure, because you really don't have much in the way of social skills.
He could also roll an unskilled, so basically one die and whatever.
Yeah, one die, true.
And then he could supplement with competency dice.
Do I have any of those? I got one by default, right?
I've got some incompetent die.
I'm pretty sure you have. Well, you currently have 2 competency dice to begin with. So you have 2 right now.
All right, so I'm going to blow both of these on this. And so you're saying composure plus these 2 die, that would give me a total of 3?
Okay.
What's the character's composure?
2. Composure is 2.
2 plus 2,
so you're going to be limited to the 2 dice.
Okay, so top 2, roll 4.
Yep, top 2.
Okay, online dice roller 46. The suspense is kill. All right, here we go. Roll die. Oh, 10.
10.
Yeah.
You pulled it off. You decided that you went to every movie reference for a pizza delivery guy ever, and method acted. Did the focus thing, method acted, and he goes,
You also mentioned that Big Paulie is the one that placed the order.
Yeah, Big Paulie. Oh, Paul's always doing this. Yeah, I'll go get him. He'll pay you. Told Paul not to stop ordering here. He's gonna get the boss on us. We're gonna get in trouble. Just wait right there. And he goes dunk 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 dunk, and you did hear him unlock the door and open it for you, and seems to have let his guard down. So he opens the door and he starts walking away. Hey, Paulie, you got your pizza orders are here. Stop ordering them over here. You're gonna get the boss on us again. And pineapple, really? You didn't order peppers on them again, did you?
Okay, I'm just going to walk in and avoid actual combat for as long as I can, see how this plays out. What do I see on the inside?
Inside, you see what seems to be a makeshift medical lab, all done with clear quarantine tents. But there's a station that seems to be done up with machinery. Then there are some scientists scientists in lab coats looking, and they're looking over paperwork. They don't look combative at all.
Okay.
But they're looking over charts. They're playing with machines. The standard stuff.
Okay, so looks like it's basically a mob-run private hospital. We don't know if this lady is here voluntarily or not.
And as you keep going, I need you to make me a awareness check or investigation as you keep going in.
Okay.
And eventually Polly comes out and goes, I didn't order it, I swear. It must have been my standing order that I forgot to cancel. But I didn't order the pineapple. That's a mistake. But I never say no to any deep dish.
Who's going to pay for
A deep dish Hawaiian pizza. I just threw up in my mouth a little.
Right. Okay.
Oh my god. Thin crust. That goes on thin crust.
I know,
With
right?
jalapenos, if you're gonna have it.
Yeah, but you're in Chicago. You gotta have deep dish, right?
Yeah, but you don't put pineapple on it.
I know,
I mean,
right?
I don't care what parallel universe we're on. Wrong is wrong in all dimensions.
But look, tell your boss that these pizzas are free because I didn't order no pineapple on my pizzas.
I try to give him the most steely fuck you glare I can with that one orange eye in the middle of my head.
Okay.
Stares at him blankly like K9SO.
And then I make a very clearly artificial coughing noise and hold my hand out.
He hands you a tip, but he's not going to pay for the bill.
How many guys are you right now?
So you see, and by the way, Polly and the guy that was at the door, they do look like two thugs. They do seem to be packing. They seem to be security. They don't seem gang affiliated in the way that you expect them to look if they're they don't look mobster. They actually look a little bit more professional. They're both dressed up in zoot suits, though. They seem to be walking around more like military security.
We need to figure out which fashion icon died at what point to where people are still wearing zoot suits in 2019.
Giant shoulder pads.
Giant shoulder pads. 1980X. Oops, I've said too much.
I hope I've skinned this scenario enough for you guys to have fun. I really hope.
Oh, it's a blast because there's so much just stuff thrown at the wall and it all just seems to fit. You're like, okay, that's strange, but then we have a good explanation to why it's strange, and because we're also in like a parallel universe.
I'm glad you guys are having fun.
This will probably end up in a comic. I've been taking notes.
I think I've exhausted the extent of any social deception skills I have, so it's time to start punching.
Okay, you start punching. You throw so kung fu action time. So you throw the pizza in one of guy's faces and you start the action.
Can I get additional dice if I use the pizza as weapons?
Please do.
You can use it as a thrown weapon, yes. As your first attack.
The images are popping into my head, and I wish you all could see it because it's glorious.
I'm glad. I'm entertained.
Hit Paulie in the face before I hit his friend. So.
Okay, you're going to hit Paulie in the face. Go for it. And people upstairs, you guys start hearing commotions because the door was left open.
Mm-hmm. Did we agree on a signal before I walked in here? I guess we didn't agree on a signal. I said very loudly, "This is the signal."
I thought the signal was punching Big Paulie in the face with pizza. I don't know. I thought that was unspoken.
So I'm going to give you an action before we roll initiatives. You surprise them because they are just there for pizza, man. They just want the pizza.
Apparently in this world, delivery robots wearing Chinese peasant clothing is common enough that it didn't arouse suspicion. So, cool. So I have 4D and super weapon for my mad kung fu skills. Am I rolling 4D?
Yep.
All right. And I blow my competency die on my effective deception. So 46. Do I keep them all or just top 2?
Keep them all.
Keep them all.
In that case, I have 12. Sorry.
Okay.
11.
Okay, now I need to roll his defense. And he rolled a 9. So, ow! And he's going to take it in that stat.
He's going to take it right in the pineapple.
Right.
He takes it right in the pineapple. Whack! Competency die.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so you throw the pizza at him, flying kick in the air, and kick him right in the pineapple, otherwise known as his nose. And he's reeling. He takes it, and he calls out, he calls out, trouble! And he starts pulling for his gun. Everybody, let's roll for initiative.
I got a 7.
You got a 7, okay?
Sitting pretty at a 10.
Okay.
I have a 12.
Okay, and Nick?
Oh shit! I was supposed to be rolling.
You can roll your reaction, or if you have, let's see, you're probably just going to roll your reaction. So 4D.
4D. I am pissed on the wheels of progress here. Sorry.
No
17.
17. 2 of you stayed at the same minute as before. Okay. Top of the Nick, you heard, this is the signal!
Oh, and then I just hang my head. I'm like, oh, we really should have planned that out before we went down there. All right. Do I have any communications with him? With Kung Fu Robot?
Apparently yelling.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Besides yelling?
Yelling. You guys didn't tell me you exchanged comms. I'm okay with you guys having exchange comms. If you guys have plenty of those types of resources.
Walt has a small portal opened right to where his auditory sensors are, and so we just shout into it. It's megaphone-like.
That works for me.
All right, so I'm going to yell into the portal. You good, man, or do you need help?
Okay, both of you get competency dice, and I'm sorry, just for that, everybody at the table got a competency die, actually, instead.
Nice.
Everybody. Mike, everybody got a competency die. Because that
You
seems
get a
just too
die,
hilarious.
You get a die, and you get a die.
You get a die.
You're cool.
You're cool.
Hey, Bruce, you good, man? You need help?
Assistance is required at this time.
Mike, get another competency die.
Man, he's just racking them up. He's going to roll like 20 die for his next move.
Oh my
All right,
God.
so, hey, Smoke, could you open up this portal a little bit bigger so I can get in there and wreck shop with this guy?
All right, so I'm going to spend a competency die to interrupt.
Okay.
Because I'm not at that initiative,
Right.
so that knocks me down to 3. I'll go all 4. So I got a 21 to activate,
Okay.
and then to put him down on the floor is not going to be hard. So what would be my my target? I got a 12.
10 is easy. Yeah.
All right, so he's
portal
down.
opens, he drops in.
Cool.
All right, so
So the portal that was to the ear opens up large enough that Nick pops through and baps the nose against the robot's ear as he and gets his footing.
And the appropriate line as you appear is, "Can you hear me now?"
Competency die.
hey, Smoke, next time you put me this close, just put me inside him this time.
Don't get weird. He can still attack now, right?
Yes, he can.
All right.
Okay.
And you are right up against one of the guys. You're right next to Polly. Bring
Right
it
next to
on.
Polly? Okay,
Right next to Polly.
Am I in front of him or behind him?
You're to his side, to his right side. Mhm.
All right, so I'm going to cock my elbow back and throw it into his nose as hard as I can
Okay.
while sweeping his leg on the back side to make sure he falls to the ground. So,
Sweet. So with a low kick sweep. Got it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Probably
Go for
fighting. So 3D.
Roll your fighting.
3D. We make that adjustment. There we go. And here we go. 14.
That was a very
14.
nice Heath Ledger, by the way.
Man, I've been practicing that for years.
14. Let me roll his defense.
I can do Bane too, but I need my Yeti mug.
GM's just sucking today. I roll below you guys all the time. I'm 12.
You're dealing with the Phantom Hawk, man.
Yeah, I'm dealing with the Phantom Hawk, who they think is the Black Hawk.
The Black Hawk. Hey, I kind of
You're
want to
the
meet this guy.
Phantom of
now.
the Black Hawk.
I'm the Phantom. See, and that fits into the story well. If the Black Hawk was the character that looks like me, I'm the Phantom Hawk, and they'd be like, sure shit you are, because you're not supposed to be here. Anyway.
Exactly. So you're the Phantom of the Black Hawk. Okay, so he's 12. So okay, cool. I got that. He took another hit. Ow. Okay,
I whooped Polly's ass.
This big linebacker of a guy just got clocked twice before he even knew what was going on.
Yep.
All he wanted was pizza. Next to Knit is Mikey.
Okay, so where are we at right now? As far as standing.
Well, you threw the pizza, clocked him. Your buddy flies in, bumps his nose against you, and then elbow and spins around and does a sweep kick. And I'm sorry, you did do a sweep kick. So I'm going to animate it so that the big linebacker of a guy, Paulie, who just wants some pizza with a little bit of a pot belly, gets swept, and he trips and falls onto his face.
Is he incapacitated, or is he getting it?
No, he's still conscious. He just tripped. He just got tripped up because he got sneak attacked twice.
Yeah, he's cockroached on the floor.
Yep.
Okay. I will try to knock him out then before he gets back up to cause trouble.
Okay.
46 super weapon attack again. Oh wow. Okay, that's 18.
That's 18. Oh, I need to roll well to not get knocked out on that one because I might take 2 dice. And no, I did not roll well enough. I just took 2 dice, so therefore he did get knocked out.
Bye, Polly.
Bye, Polly. So you finish it off with an arm drop onto his back and conked out. Now you guys still have his partner to act, but Brandon gets to go first.
I'm just gonna start getting that window open and get down into the room. I want to make certain to be protecting this person in case things get up here.
Sure.
So I'm gonna start basically trying to make certain I clear that room, and then start, getting away. So therefore, when we engage, we won't be right by somebody in medical restraints.
Okay. So at that point, I get to use the other guy. The other guy, Steve, he pulled his Tommy gun, and he's going to start trying to shoot the 2 of you. He's got
Very
multiple.
unneighborly of him.
Huh?
That's very unneighborly of him.
Yeah.
Especially when we brought pizza.
He's got multiple targeting. So let's roll that. Hey, I got a good roll. I got a 16.
Who's he shooting?
He has he has multiple targets. He can shoot up to 3 targets, is what I had it set up for. So I do 2 dice to each is the way that I understand that power to have done, right?
If you're an area effect, or are you split?
I'm split.
Split, you have to split the die pool then.
Right. So it's 2 to each.
Actions.
2 to each of you, because he only had 2 targets, so he only worried about 2. So 2 dice to each of you. So let me roll the 2 dice now. Ooh. Nope, that didn't roll well. 7. I got a 7. So maybe he shouldn't have tried split dying.
All right, so now you guys need to defend.
Yeah, defend against the 7.
That is athleticism.
Whatever you want to use.
Whatever you want to defend. He's spraying. He's rapid fire spraying between the 2 of you. His Tommy gun.
Yeah, I'm gonna use athleticism. Try and dodge the bullets. So let's see here. And I rolled a 13.
Maybe he should have focused on that.
Yeah. I have 13 from me.
So you're clear. How about Mike?
What am I rolling?
You're rolling a defense. Pick a defense against somebody spraying bullets at the 2 of you with a Tommy gun. And he's learning that you guys are no mooks, and he needs to step it up if he survives.
4D for reaction.
Hey, these guys are no mooks.
Hey, these guys are no mooks. Yeah.
All right, so reaction roll.
Competency die, Brandon.
So I got 11, 12.
12. You dodge out without a problem too. He's just massive, cover spraying, and it seems, and you're like, whatever. I'm a martial artist. Yeah, exactly. Stormtrooper never hits. Okay, I did not. So now it's Walt's turn.
You don't even have a name tag. You're not going to survive.
Hey, I have a name tag. My name's Steve.
I can't actually go because I used I have to wait till the next.
You did interrupt. So
yep, they interrupted.
At this point, after that action, you guys do hear more commotion coming in from deeper in the building. Brandon, you see more men coming out from deeper into the building where, there might be some offices in the back. And you see some running out towards the door, towards where Mike is. So, Nick, your action. Phantom
Okay.
Hawk's action.
Okay, well, Steve's still in play, right?
Steve's still in play. You actually can see others are responding as well. There are 4
Okay.
others coming.
Well, since I got a bigger threat coming towards me, I need to incapacitate Steve as quickly as possible. So I take out one of my karambits and aim for his brachial artery and throw it at it.
Oh, okay.
So that is, I got to roll for that. That is,
You should add a competency die to this.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're aiming for the brachial artery after all.
Fighting. Okay, so 3D, so +1.
Oh no, you got 4D with your karambit.
Oh, 4. Okay, so 4 + 1, so I'm rolling 5.
Yeah, no, you're rolling 4, right? And then you get to keep the highest 3 because it's a skill and not a power.
Okay, so I'm rolling 4, and then how many times do I roll it?
No, just roll 4d6.
Just roll 4d6.
Okay.
And then keep the highest 3 of the numbers you get.
Highest 3 numbers I get. Okay. 11, 13. Oh wait, that's just my total was 11, so it was.
I have a chance. I have a
How
chance
do I
to survive
read
for a
this?
while. Well,
Does
he's
it-
on.
Does it give you a breakdown of the dice?
Yeah, I think so.
So like a 3, a 2, a 7, which you can't get on a d6.
Okay, it was a 2, 3, 4, 2, and yeah, 2, 3, 4, 2.
Walter, you saying I shouldn't?
I
have
guess the
used
highest
the
one was a
D6
4.
as I have been.
So yeah, drop one of the 2s.
Okay.
By the way, for those who are interested
that puts me at a 9.
in the Super Thread Discord, there is a installed bot that allows you to roll dice as you wish. There is a built-in dice roller. If you guys go into the dice roller channel, you'll see that our friendly Skrills has been using that engine to randomly generate characters.
Oh, that's awesome.
By the way, Skrill's the one that's been doing that is the one that's going to be joining us next week.
Yeah,
Oh, awesome.
on the 19th.
Thanks.
But yeah, I've had the bot installed since day 1, but and I told him that would be a great way to demo the bot in case people were interested in using the dice roller there.
That's fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Therefore, if people want to host games through Discord, they have a dice roller built in.
Boom.
So, what was it after you? What was your
9.
die roll?
It was a 9. Yeah.
Okay, I actually got a 10. I got 5 and 5 on my 2 dice.
Shit.
He probably slipped on the pizza.
He slipped on the pizza and actually managed to, and so the guy managed to dodge and parry. Okay. So Nick just goes at it, slips on the pizza, and the guy just goes whoosh. And that's Nick. After Nick, I believe was Mike. Yes, Mike, your action.
Hey, I'm still on my feet, right?
Yes, you're still on your feet.
Okay. So, and Polly is down and knocked out.
Yep, Polly is down and knocked out. Steve's still up
Steve's still
with
up.
his Tommy gun.
I guess I'm going to charge Steve and try to disarm him, and I'll do the usual 4D super weapon attack for that. So.
It does sound like a good plan to charge these guys for the pizzas they didn't pay for that they didn't order.
You got to have some basic standards.
I know, right?
Die roller 4d6. Apologies to anybody on the Twitch stream. Apparently, Twitch isn't picking up the YouTube audio again tonight, so.
Ooh.
I thought we had troubleshot that, but.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. All 4 together, I've got 16.
16. Wow, that's nice. And ooh, I did not roll well. So that's 1 tick. That's 1 stat. Well, he's still standing.
Okay.
He's still standing. Not by much.
Did I get the gun away from him at all?
Was your choice, was your action was to get the gun away from him? Is that your primary goal? Because that wasn't stated. I'm sorry.
Oh, I thought I'd said disarm. You know
Oh,
what?
I apologize. I apologize. I must not have heard it. That's my fault. Yeah, you would have disarmed him instead of doing the damage to him. That's fine.
You blew his arm right off.
All right.
The
I was-
the weapon flew out the door of the building. I apologize for that, but he's at that point not needing to take wounds. That sounds good to me. I get a little another action with him maybe. So Brandon, your action.
So what do I see in this room that we didn't observe from above? I'm sticking with intrusion, by the way, on my wizardry because I'm going to be trying to sneak around at the moment.
Okay. So from above, you didn't see a bunch of people, the personnel, but from down here, you can see a wider view. There are some lab tech type people that see in coats that seem non-combative. They are, and in fact, as this commotion is happening, they are actually running to the medical bed's room and trying to basically protect themselves and the person in the medical bed. There are 4 guys that came out of back office heading from on your far side of the warehouse towards the front of the door. One of them seems to be, one of them is blue skin, blue tinted his skin a little bit. He's skinny, really, really skinny and gaunt. He's got spiky blue and blue hair with iced white tips. Yeah. And the others are in the other 3 are in zoot suits.
Well, I can't be surprised that he's got those tips. I mean, they were willing to tip pizzas. I am going to stick with trying to stay a little hidden, but I don't know if Smoke Chaser is watching. I know he's still up on the roof, and I'm just going to, put up my fingers for 4 and then point in the direction that they are. I'm readying an action to basically give him cover fire if he goes in.
Roll me your perception for your investigating, because there's one more thing I need to see if you see.
So I'm rolling investigation.
Yeah, investigation.
Sorry. Was this clues? Is this searching for clues or okay? So that is 14.
Okay. So off in your peripheral vision, as you're scanning and looking at these guys, you notice to your right in the back corner there seems to be some sort of device that is radiating, you can kind of hear it doing the ionic humming, and there is there's a tubular thing that's glowing and blue, and just kind of like looks like plasma bubbling. That is inside this strange contraption. And anybody who watch 7 Days back in the I'm trying to remember the name of the show.
The one where they can time travel 7 days back?
Yes.
Yeah, I used to love that show.
Yeah, I love that show too. So that big contraption, big round contraption.
Project Backstep, right? That's what it was called?
Yes. So there's this big circular metallic ring contraption where this tubular woom is coming out of behind it. That's what you see off your side.
And so, I'm looking at them, the 4 guys. That's off to my side, and the medical personnel are going behind me.
Yes.
So yeah, I'm just sitting there trying to stay hidden right now, having silently communicated to Smoke Chaser, and I'm prepared to give him cover fire, basically.
Sure. And now this guy's action. So now Steve will throw punches at you. He actually looks like he is trained, so he is going to punch. He's going to punch you, and he's going to throw a flurry of punches at Phantom Hawk, because the robot doesn't seem as susceptible to something like that. And he's going to try and close it off with an uppercut after the flurry.
I'm used to being punched in the face.
Well, let's see if his brawl is good enough. His brawl his brawl's nice. He got him a 14. 644. 14. Jesus. Defend against that. Let's see if that uppercut got you.
You could use your fortitude. You can automatically use your armor, but the fortitude or reaction is 4D. So
yeah,
that would give you a good resistance against that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with fortitude. And we're rolling, and it's an 8. Shit.
Oh, you failed by 6. That's 2, as I recall.
Yeah. Well, thank God the
2.
nanites can regenerate stuff, but that's still going to sting.
Yeah. So what 2 are you going to take it in?
So, Nick, the way this works is you can take damage any way that you can justify from any of your resistances. So, I would take it from either fortitude or reaction, because if you take it from the other, he took 2.
Yeah, he took 2. He rolled bad comparatively.
Yeah.
If you take it from one of the ones that are 2D, that'll put you at 0. That'll put you out of the fight.
Okay. So yeah, well, I can't do 1 and 1. I don't think.
I don't believe so.
All right. So
Let me check.
if I took 1 to the face, my reaction time is going to be down. So we'll take the 2 from reaction.
Okay. You
No,
are.
I'm sorry. You can spread the damage.
What?
Yeah, that's what I thought. But
Yeah,
it's Walt's system, so I was like, I might be misremembering. So I was already looking it up.
It's
You can split it.
It's on page 18 of the rule book. So you can, in most cases, characters who suffer more than 1 die of damage may choose to spread the damage.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Then 1 from fortitude and 1 from reaction.
Okay. So yeah, this guy, just goes hook, hook, uppercut, uppercut, and suddenly you're like, whoa, I didn't dodge all of those, and you're like reeling for a second. You just are slowed down while you're trying to get your bearings.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. That was Nick, and that was them. And at that point, from across the room, you guys see ice bolts shooting out, and this one's going to be aimed at the robot.
You know what I'm really missing in the robot interactions? Some of the kung fu quotes, the Buddhist quotes.
Yeah, I think I overdid that last time. I didn't think I could do it again without repeating myself, because I'd gone through every kind of Buddhist-related martial arts quote I could find in those last fight scenes last year. So I didn't know if I could do this stick again. All right, so I need to roll a defense.
Yeah, I got 663, so that's 15 on you. As icicles shoot out at you from a distance, and like I said, this gaunt figure with blue tinged skin, his hair up in a mohawk with iced white tips, all of a sudden starts just waving his hands at you, and bolts of ice shoot out.
Okay, this is probably that blue guy who we heard about.
The blue icer.
Okay, I'm going to roll 4D plus a competency die.
Okay.
Do I keep
So they've crossed the room and are now over, like looking through a door or something at them, or are we just in one huge room?
You're in one huge room. So this guy's shooting range because they already came out of the office. There are, like I said, the clear medical tents set up within the large open warehouse, and then they came out of the office, and so all he's doing is shooting from across the open space where the medical tents aren't.
Okay, so I rolled 5d6, and do I keep my top 3 or 4, or just use all of them?
What ability did you use?
Reaction.
Reaction? So you should be able to keep all.
If I'm keeping all 5, then I have 20.
You have 20, so you just dodge out of the ice, and the ice pelts against the door frame and the wall beside the door, and 1 shoots out because you guys are still in the doorway. In fact, given the speed at which this scene is going, that Tommy gun you disarmed is still flying through the air, and one of the icicles shoots it. With how well you dodged that. Okay, so you defended.
Bamboo leaf.
And the goons that are with him, the 3 goons, are going to pull out their guns and shoot. They are going to shoot with that ability. Okay, let's roll it and see. Oh! Okay. So they are going to, they would have shot at Phantom. Phantom, this might hurt a bit.
Oh, shit.
I apologize.
Punch in the face, now I'm getting shot.
They chose not to split their dice. They gave all 4 dice to you instead of splitting 2 dice and 2 dice.
Sweet.
And so that was 6,652.
6,652.
Yep. So 19 is what I rolled. Sorry. Hey, all game I've been rolling like 9 and under.
I know.
All of a sudden I had to roll.
I've been consistently rolling crap, so this is par for course. All right. So I need.
Come on, Phantom Hawk, defend
my
against this.
reaction. So it's either fortitude or reaction. Both are a 3. Let's see here.
And while you do that, while you're figuring that out, one of the other goons is going to also shoot the other guy, not splitting. So this one's going to be on the robot. And on the robot, I rolled badly. I rolled 1, 1, 1, 1.
Oof.
No joke. I rolled a 4. Please roll your defense. I don't think you even need to roll a defense to actually get that done.
I rolled an 8, 3, 3, and 2.
Ooh, okay. And you did not choose to use any competency dice with it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
'Cause I forgot.
I got a 19. You got an 8. That's by 11.
Yeah.
So therefore, that's by 3.
3.
3 degrees.
3. So that's where I gotta.
So
I can still
bullets
spread it
fly
out.
out.
Right.
Yes, you can still split it up.
Okay, so
So describe how you're taking that damage. Describe what happens to Phantom Hawk.
I takes one in the shoulder. How many hits did I get? 4.
They got 4 dice. So yeah, it's a Tommy gun.
So 4 bullets hit me. So I take one in the shoulder. I take one in the gut. I take one in the thigh.
And you took 3 die. You took 3 degrees, so you can say it's 3 bullets if you'd like.
I took 3 bullets in multiple areas of the body.
Luckily, non-critical.
Non-critical.
Okay.
So I don't have to roll for the nanites to do their job.
Okay.
All you got to do is if you want to recover immediately, you add, that'll be an action, and it.
Do I gotta wait for the next turn for that, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because otherwise it'll just happen. But if you want to do it during combat, you got to kind of pull away a little bit so you're not taking any more damage, and then you roll a dice. When it comes up as a 6, you get a point of whatever it is you want back. Your fortitude, mostly.
And the third goon actually did split his dice again because he's going and spraying between the two of you, and he rolled a 9. So you guys need to defend against a 9 each. And you guys, if you guys choose to close with him, you guys can close with them in, one move basically by, just sprinting at them, because you guys have some speed amongst the group, it seems.
I'm just waiting on my turn.
Yep, your turn will be next, I believe. Let me double check that.
I'm waiting on that too, Walt.
Hey, I just got the audio fixed on the Twitch stream, so sorry about that problem, but we're back up now.
And yes, it is your turn next, Walt. I'm just waiting for them to defend. So Nick and Mike need to defend against a 9.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
I can hear you.
All right, cool. Just making sure. So I'm doing a 46 reaction. Oh, shoot. That can't be.
You already rolled reaction to defend against one attack, so you can't roll it against. You roll the same stat against another attack in the same round.
Gotcha. Okay. Could I use super weapon for defending?
I thought with defenses you can, but you lose a die each time, basically, like on the roll. That if I rolled reaction twice, it would be
because
4
he's
die
the base
first
stat, not a
time,
power. Yeah.
and then 3 die, and
Yeah.
that's the benefit of the defense.
Defense rather than the power. So that's true. He did use the reaction. I just generally use
Now,
powers.
correct me if I'm wrong on that, Walt.
No, you're good.
Okay, so yeah, you can use reaction again if you'd like. You just lose a die. And this
Alright.
one's only at a 9, so it's pretty good. Nick, what was your roll? Did you defend against it?
I rolled a 5.
Okay, you take 1. Guys, your Phantom Hawk might be going down.
For 3d6, I get a 12.
3d6, you have a 12. You defend, you don't take anything again. Phantom Hawk's just getting pelted, and you're like, what's wrong with you? This is nothing.
That's his roll.
Can I assist him somehow? Can I use my defense to help him? Can I intercede somehow and take the punishment or something?
You can spend a competency die to interrupt and lose your next action, and then basically take a soak for him. I'll allow that.
Okay, let's do that then.
If you'd like. Okay. So go ahead and roll a soak for him.
And what do I roll for a soak?
Pick your skill that you're using.
Right.
Describe how you're doing it, and figure out how that's viable for me.
Okay. What skill am I going to take that to?
Describe how you're doing it and justify it.
Okay. Can I use a resistance for this?
Can you use what?
Resistance for this, like a fortitude soak.
So describe how you're doing it as a character to use that fortitude soak.
I'm just trying to insert myself between the damage and Phantom Hawk,
and just trying to take it. Sure. So you just step in and you put your chest out and take it. Go ahead and roll it.
Exactly. All right. So that's 2D, and I don't have any competency die, so just 2D.
Now if you fail to soak it properly for him, you will take some damage for him.
That's fine. 8.
8. You did fail by 1, therefore you do take a damage.
Okay.
But Nick does not take the damage from the 9. Nick.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so how do I adjust my stats on that?
Get the damage back that you rolled.
Okay.
That you took. You didn't take that damage. I let Mike take it for you.
Awesome. Okay. I'm
The
walking
robot.
wounded right now.
Yeah, I know. Whew.
Okay. Whose turn is it now?
It is now Walt's turn. Walt's gonna clean this up, right, Walt?
So we got 3 more guys, like 3 more guys with Tommy guns.
Yeah, you've got 3 zoot suit guys with Tommy guns, and you've got 1 boss fight guy. Yep, blue icer is what you'd guess.
Okay. I want to try, and I'm going to use my wizardry again. I'm going to try and activate first. See if this works. Ooh. 13. What do I need to activate? Where'd it go? I think I need a 12.
12 is the activation for 4 dice.
All right, so I just made it. All right, I want to do a 2D portal attack.
Okay.
Under the combatants.
Okay.
I'm just looking real quick for oh, I passed it. Area effect. So area effect, I need 1D. So 2D, I can affect 4 targets. So
okay. You have 4 targets right there. Boss and 3 goons.
Well, if those are mooks, that's 1 target.
Those mooks.
Those are not mooks.
Gotcha.
So I will do that, and then so I'm going to try and affect 4 targets. I'm also going to try and teleport them. Where would someplace uncomfortable be?
Wood chipper.
Well,
back of Volkswagen.
An active volcano in Hawaii. Top of
Try
an
to
active
teleport me
volcano in
someone
Hawaii.
very uncomfortable once.
So 2D, I can get 50 miles an hour, so I could probably hover them about the height of the building in this round, outside in the street with nothing for them to fall onto but the street.
Ouch. Okay.
All right, so they'll be outside.
Hold on, Walt. Because I'm at that point when I see the portal start to open up, I'm going to try and put in covering fire to drive them into the portal.
It. So you're aiding me.
Yeah. So I normally can get 2 targets. I'm going to use some competency die to get that up. So would that be 1 competency die to just get my area effect up by 1 die effectively?
Yes.
Okay. No, my action was to provide cover for Walt. I was specifically waiting for him.
You did state that, yes, that you were waiting.
All right, and then I'm going to add a competency die as well for the roll of wizardry.
Okay.
So
you're moving them outside.
Really
And
high.
Okay.
they're
and
not mooked. I'm using my Tommy gun, and I'm going to burn a competency die as well for an extra die on this.
Okay.
So,
All right. So that's 6, 12, 16, 22.
I have 14 on my aid, so I think that gives you two
dice.
extra competency dice on
Yeah.
that.
So
All
add
right.
2 more dice.
A 5 and a 1, so that's 27 on the attack.
27 on the attack, and they each roll their defense individually.
Correct.
Okay. The only one that has a chance is the boss, and I'd have to blow all his competency dice to have a chance. So the question is, do I want to or not? Yeah, let's blow all his competency die and try.
Oh, he really wants to stay in this.
Oh, he really does. He really does. So let's see. Every competency die into it using that power. And okay. So he sees this portal forming, and he basically throws out an ice barrier trying to basically block off the gateway and trying to basically trying to ice slide himself to the left of it to try and dodge it. And he got a 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 4 is 14 plus 4 is 18, 20, 22. 22. So he puts up this ice barrier and he gets sucked in by the feet first, as his ice slide did not save him, and he gets sucked into the lower half of it feet first as he's trying to claw and hold on to his ice from the outside. And he ports through and he's hanging in the air on his ice. Okay. Well, that was Walt's action. 4 guys outside. So, given time constraints, I can either run the rest of this fight, or I can say that you guys are going to be able to take it out. And so, given time constraints, I'm going to, at that point, say that, with them being outside, you guys are able to take it out. You guys are going to trade fire from them a little bit more. But yeah, is that cool with everyone? Because I just noticed that everyone has to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Okay. So at that point, you guys dealt with the blue icer, and what would you guys like to do as quick wrap up? What do you guys want, information wise and such?
Lady in medical, and then if we manage to clean this up, if we manage to clean this up, can I dimensionally gate us back home?
So you find out interacting with the lady, with these combined skill sets you guys have, you guys realize that you seem to have been pulled here due to some sort of mental call for help. She's a mentalist of some sort, and you guys are able to unhook her. She has been put into a medical sedation of some sort, comatose, and hooked up to the machine that Blue Icer seems to be building. He seems to be building some sort of quantum machine, stealing components that he needs. The blue cylinder is some sort of zero energy device that is not, that's still unstable, and that's why it was locked up. In the wrap up of it, you will find out that the Kieslers really regret actually having to declare what it was. They should have found a different way to deal with it, but given the current climate of all the bad guys and such, they were starting to run low on resources trying to continue their stuff, because you guys are in a bit of dystopian world at the moment. So that was a move of desperation, which only fed to giving bad guys more power. You guys are able to dismantle the machine. You guys are able to take back the energy source and save the woman. And the woman who had called for help was one of the other superheroes that had recently disappeared. Not the last one, but one that was recently disappeared.
Nice. What'd you guys
So-
think?
That was cool. I liked it.
Yeah, I like the Elseworld feel of this with the 1930s vibe and like alternate versions of Phantom Hawk and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. What was up with the cops?
So the cops are this clone army that was generated by like the way that I had it imagined basically was to save lives and all. They were created by some sort of super team that was generating clone type army, so they are partially human, partially not, and therefore with all the types of bad guys going around all the time, there's fewer real lives lost.
Like a Iron Legion type deal.
Yeah, exactly.
I like
So-
it.
And I will say that a lot of it was, I the way that I run, and this is actually, I'm just going to take a quick thing for our audience. The way that I run is I come up with a set of bullet points of plot points I want to hit. These are plot points that are malleable, and I don't ever actually like stat out everything in a scenario. This game, I asked people to bring their own characters, so when they sent me characters, I then took the characters and I marked off my bullet points on what their history and what they gave me would fit into which bullet point, and that's how I was basically smacking into the different people and such like that, and tying them into the different things. So,
Right on.
hope everyone had fun.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was a good time.
It's definitely a good time. Do you want to try it again next Friday?
Next Friday we have our OSR game going.
Oh, that's right. Vigilante City with Eric Bloat next Friday.
Yes.
So,
Yes, we do.
all right, cool.
And
cool.
Brandon's talking about running us on a regular home game, so long-term stuff.
That would be great if we could do like a regular broadcast with the set time, date, and time. All right, awesome. Well, hey, thanks to everybody for coming out. Nick, Brendan, Alice, Walt, thank you very much, everybody.
Cheers.
Had fun, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks for having me as always.
And thanks to our listeners.
Thanks for
And
having me.
we will catch you next time on the BAMF podcast.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, so streaming is stopped, and
Thanks, Alice.
You're welcome.